Oh no, I'm off kilter, everybody. That's because that's my monitor. Excuse me, production. I need help. Help me. So, welcome to the show, everybody. There you go. I'm actually in the beach of Colombia. I'm on this retreat. I don't know. I think it's like a 2-hour hike or something. It sounds really relaxing. I can't wait. I cannot wait to see what awaits me on this entrepreneurial journey that I'm about to go on. Wish me luck. I have not eaten and I have diabetes. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, you will soon. Welcome to the show. Today is Tuesday. It is the day of basically nothing. It's not the beginning. It's not the middle. It's not the end. It's a Tuesday. And that's where I find myself in life as well. Somewhere in the middle of the beginning and the middle, hopefully. Welcome. I hope you're having a great life and day. What do we have to say to our friends here?
Grandma has lung cancer.
There you go. That's a message from the other side. We have a variety show today. And there's like several different topics of similar, not value, but similar overlapping interest. And we're going to start in a sphere that actually got me interested in making YouTube content, but not something I've covered deeply. I did one video one time, and watching it back, it was boring as hell. So I'm sorry for that. But I did one video once about Young Living essential oils. And that has been my entire, basically my addition to the anti-MLM content creation space. However, that was my gateway into really liking this part of YouTube and finding Savvy and finding Cam and finding all of the creators, probably maybe Mac as well at that point. I think he had already started Rachel Hollis content. But anyways, that is what got me into knowing that there was a snark community and such. So we're going to touch on a little bit of anti-MLM today, specifically with this one person that you may be familiar with. She's an MLM influencer, as ridiculous as that sounds, an MLM business babe. So she's really the combination of all the things that you love and hate about the internet, about I guess MLM companies, about self-development, and about cults, because it really is dipping into cult territory. Who am I talking about? Boss Lee. I don't know her real name, and it doesn't really matter. Boss Lee is who we're going to start the show off with. We're also going to talk about a 19-year-old who got caught scamming on TikTok and got arrested for faking cancer. Wow. And it seems like this one specifically, and I don't know if it's because she's so young or if her social media presence got people pissed off, but she got caught faking pancreatic cancer and leukemia. Of course, they always come up with, it's not just one thing, it's two life-changing, horrible things. So we're going to talk about her. Her name is Maddie, and that's been blowing up on TikTok. We're going to talk about this abundance spiritual coach who is charging people to coach them, meanwhile is in major debt and also in denial about that debt in a lot of ways. And it was a video that a couple people sent me, but specifically, actually I have a whole list of like shout out people. So Carla sent me the story about Maddie. So shout out to Carla if you're here. And then shout out to Alice for the Beach Boss Influencers video, which may be the worst Facebook advertisement I've ever seen in my life. And by worst, I mean the funniest and best. But she sent that one over. And thank you to Adriana for sending me something. It says Caleb. I don't know what that is. I can't read my handwriting. And Liv, who sent me the Boss Lee video. So thank you to everyone who sent me stuff. And we're also going to talk about the last two things of interest, but not that's interesting to me. Jen Hatmaker is a creator I've talked about on this channel who's like she's a Christian self-help influencer. She was besties with Rachel Hollis at one point and is still friends with Dave Hollis, allegedly. And she wants you to go on a cruise with her. So we're going to look at that. And I guess after my retreat, my relaxing 12-hour hike retreat, I can also just jump back on Jen Hatmaker's cruise ship. And finally, because of a request, we're going to listen to If It's Worth It. I started listening to it and it was cringe, but Dave Hollis is talking about his breakup once again on his own podcast. So, I'm interested, morbidly interested in his life and his relationships. So we'll be doing that as well. So anyways, let's do it. Let's start. And just so we all know,
I love selling stuff online.
I love selling stuff online, says Jay Shetty. And one more.
My eyebrow stays on.
My eyebrows stay on. Okay, so let's start off with who is this person? I'm only familiar with her because she's sort of famous in the anti-MLM space because of her kind of aggressive, over-the-top content style, I would say. And her name, Jessie Lee Ward is #Boss Lee. So when you run your own company as a CEO, I guess you become the boss. Who's her boss? Because apparently she's in, I don't know if she's in multiple MLMs. Like I said, I only really know a little bit about her, but I know she was in Prove It. But her big claim to fame is her separate coaching business, which is her website and retreats and whatever else she does. So she offers the basic coaching. She has a podcast. She's got a speaking career, apparently. She talks on a lot of MLM, direct selling, be a millionaire if you just wake up and try hard type of stuff from what I can see. But she claims that Jessie Lee, aka Boss Lee, is the #1 network marketer in the world. Now, I know on Savannah's account, Savannah, I forget her last name. So I just know her as Savannah. She runs an anti-MLM account. She's been doing this type of content for years. She said that that's not even true. She's not even one of the top performing people of Prove It, but this is just a claim that Boss Lee makes without anyone clarifying or asking for clarification, which is typical, I think, in this space. Just claim you're whatever you are. Who's going to tell you you're not? I mean, yes, it's fraudulent, but the government doesn't care, apparently, as we've seen a million times. They don't care.
Nothing.
They care about nothing. Anyways, so she's the #1 network marketer in the world. She's a multiple 7-figure annual earner, serial entrepreneur, investor, traditional business owner. Okay, I guess this is the traditional business, the online the online course creation, I suppose. She's a business coach, of course, and a podcaster. Wonderful. In less than 4 years, she has built her current network marketing team to over 1.6 million customers and 21,000 promoters worldwide in 41 different countries. I mean, that's impressive. It's like being a cult leader at the top. It's that as horrible and horrendous as that is, it is a pretty impressive feat that not everyone can pull off. So kudos to you for accomplishing a bad thing. She's got a big downline. Jessie Lee's top-rated, that's like saying something's natural. It's top-rated entrepreneur podcast, The People's Mentor, currently has 6 million downloads and counting. I'm shocked by that. The brand and following she has built on social media amounts to over 1 million loyal followers, with 300,000 on Instagram, 150K on Facebook, and 173,000 on TikTok. Cool. Okay, there she is. She's the boss. All right, here's her Instagram. So she's the people's mentor. She'll coach you. Join in her bio. Citizen of the world, investor, and hundreds of millions in sales, of course. Okay, here is, success is simple, everybody. Success is simple. Let's see.
Success is caught, not taught. A lot of times, I can teach and I can teach and I can teach and I can teach and I will teach and teach and teach and teach, but get around me. You'll see why I move the way I move. You'll understand the way I talk to people. You'll understand why I take phone calls from certain people. You'll see how it all comes together. But sometimes it seems too simple, but quite frankly, it's the simplicity that makes things easy. It's the simplicity, the systems, and the automation. That's what successful people have. It seems simple because it is. It's when you start getting, I gotta pay this much money for a fancy camera, and I better pay this much for a COO, and I better have this much money for this, and blah, 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 blah. You're procrastinating.
Pay your taxes. Don't scam people. Have an actual product. Just don't even waste your time on that pointless bullshit. Just start scamming immediately.
You don't need any of that stuff. You need to pay attention to the people who have what you want and find out exactly what they did when they were at the stage that you currently are so you can get to the next stage. Success is caught, not taught.
Okay, so just be around her aura, be around her presence. That is the best way to success. Everyone knows that, okay? Anyways, so that's her style. She's got, like I said, sort of an aggressive style. And, she does a lot of the haters are gonna hate. Oh, this is a pyramid. My company's not a pyramid. Your company's a pyramid. Okay, typical content. The big thing we're talking about today, though, is specifically from her own mouth about a retreat that she took her prized, followers on and basically misled them on purpose to break them down and then build them back up. We've heard that before in cults. And welcome, Bethany. In military operations, very important, not for selling whatever they're selling, hair care and, fizzy energy pixie sticks or whatever is going on in her bullshit MLM. So people were taken aback, obviously, perhaps more than typical. Here's the post where she specifically talks about the incident. I don't know why this is something you'd pick to post on your Instagram, that specific photo. But okay, here's a group shot and here's the caption, which is important. So this is on January 22nd. So not too long ago. What's the 31st? So almost a week ago. She says, I could have spent the $30,000 and just given a glorified team vacation. Instead, I opted for a mastermind crash course of breaking down I love that breaking. You want to go on vacation and learn and then be described as breaking your team down. Good. Okay. I opted for a mastermind crash course of breaking down every single one of these people through seeing them where they are to help bring them to where I see them in the future. So she is all knowing. She knows where you are now and she can see your future. Okay, got it. I absolutely made them walk. Love that too. I absolutely made them walk 10 miles in direct sunlight without telling them where we would end up sleeping on a beach instead of the 12-bedroom villa. Come on, you guys. Come on. Don't accept this treatment. You're being abused. Okay, sorry. And for how long to see who placed... Okay, so she decided that she wasn't going to bring them back to the villa that I'm assuming they paid for to prove how long to see who places blame on people when they are at fault for not preparing themselves. When you don't... Okay, let me just start this whole thing over. I absolutely made them walk 10 miles in direct sunlight without telling them where we would end up, sleeping on a beach instead of the 12-bedroom villa, and for how long, to see who places blame on people when they are at fault for not preparing themselves, who points fingers, who gets mad in discomfort, who uses words like, I can't, and who listens to the thoughts in the head instead of talking to themselves. Pain is in your mind. It's an illusion, dummies. If pain is an illusion, then why put them through it? Okay. I absolutely had them jump into the black ocean at midnight to surprise them with a swim with glowing plankton. I mean, that's cool, but being forced, I'm against. I absolutely only fed them 100% clean meals. Okay, define clean meals. That's not even a real thing, but okay. And forced workouts every single day, ending with 3-minute planks. Okay, I only fed them. Fed them seems like a very strong word or phrase. Forced workouts is also something I don't want to be forced onto me. I absolutely poured all of my love, knowledge, support, energy, and intention into them all week. We had fun. Yeah. We, as in you and your maniacal brain and your team that didn't have to go through this, I guess. We had fun. But more importantly, I got to watch 15 people I led and love go through a complete metamorphosis. That's called traumatic event. That's called trauma bonding, baby. If you knew them a week ago, reintroduce yourselves. You don't know them at all. Okay. My God, I love my life. And God, thank you endlessly for this calling on my life. The calling of forcing people to eat clean and working out and lying to them about where they're going to be vacationing. I don't take my gifts for granted. Would you take and enjoy a trip like this? Love, Bossly. I'm Bossly. And this person says, so dope. Okay, you're an idiot. It's Anthony Knapp says, clap, 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 clap. Okay. And then someone who was there, I guess, says, thank you for this amazing trip. It was the best. Absolutely. Okay, that's great. Good for you. And then someone says, so how do I get in on the next trip? Okay, seek help immediately. Whoever you are, seek help. Okay, so that's the description. If you're not horrified yet, here we go. We got more horrendousness for you. Okay, this is a video that was sent to me, like I said, by, this was sent to me by Liv. Once again, shout out to Liv, who sent this video to me in a raw format that I could just download easily. So the true MVP of this. I love my life. I love that I get to force people into being uncomfortable. Welcome, Danny Carr. Thank you, Danny Carr. Welcome. I appreciate that. And if you would like to join Danny Carr in the membership, there is a link below and you get cool emotes, and more will be coming out as soon as we get more members, because there is a threshold in which we need to reach. And I need to check it, but I think it's like 11 more. So if anyone's motivated, join the membership. I won't force you to eat clean or work out. That is my promise. Okay, so this is, in her own words, we get to hear about this amazing experience from Boss Lee. And, don't be if you are horrified by this, then you're not a true leader, okay? Success is simple. Just be around this lady. It'll come to you. All right, here we go. And of course, there's a bunch of products behind her. Definitely not some sort of schemey scam. Whenever you see someone recording a video and there's 10,000 products behind them and they're in their own home, you know it's legit. That's when you know. Okay, here we go.
The hardest thing someone had to go through on the Colombia trip. So I'm not going to use any names or anything, but I warned people. I warned them. I said, look, you have 90 days. No, I do not eat keto. You have 90 days to get in shape. And you need to get in shape, okay? Because if you're going to go on a trip with me, we are going to move our freaking bodies, okay? Like, I'm sick of people, like excellence is awesome in physical form, period, okay? Period. I can tell how you feel about yourself because your physical state is a manifestation of what's happening on the inside, right? And so I'm not a doctor, Kathy, sorry.
Not right. What do you say? Welcome, Kendall Sue. What do you say to people who are born with some sort of medical condition? That's why I always wonder when they're like, how you look on the outside, how you are physically is a direct manifestation of how you feel on the inside. Okay, so when you're born and you have some sort of physical disability or physical ailment or just something that makes it harder for you to participate in super, super active activity, what manifestation went on gestationally that I guess it's your mom that forced it upon you? So, but if everything is in your control, how can your mom's bad negative thoughts affect you in the womb, since it's all about your own mindset and no one but you controls your universe? These are the questions I need to have answered. Okay. Sorry. Moving on.
Can't answer that. So at any rate, I warned them. I said, you should probably be in the gym every single day for the 90 days leading up to it. I would cut your diet into high protein, moderate complex carbohydrates, and drop some fat. And some people did not listen to me. Like, I gave them fair warning. I think they thought that it was just going to be vacation. And so the first day we were chilling in our flipping 12-bedroom villa. We went all around the Columbia City. We did the most. Like, it was freaking beautiful. Day 2, I tricked them even more. I got to make a whole live about this. Tricked them even more, to be totally honest. I rented a boat for the day. So we had this crazy boat day. We were out on the water. We went on some private islands. We went snorkeling, these gorgeous fish. Oh my gosh. We had great food on the...
She's like, I tricked them. I didn't want them to have fun or to be happy. That was a trick. I was just leading up to the misery that I really wanted them to experience. Losers. Okay.
Boat, dance parties, like your typical I'm, in South America day, like the delicious food, the coconut water with straight from coconuts, like all this stuff, And Sasha and me and Mateo were just laughing the whole time. And by the way, I was training every day. So masterminding. And,
sounds like it.
And so they were, I set them up, I had them set up for success. Don't you worry about it. Okay. Like all kinds of coaching and stuff of that nature. It was really powerful trainings. Some of my best trainings ever, I would say. But anyway, so we went to, and so right.
This is my best live stream, I would say. All my live streams are the best live streams, I would say, just so you know.
Before I went to bed that night, I said, by the way, I would prioritize sleep tonight. Thank you for your order. I saw it just go through, by the way. Yes, you can still order. A link is in the bio. You can use code 15 off for 15% off. Okay. So I warned them. I said, I would prioritize some sleep tonight because they didn't know. We said, we're going to go on a hike tomorrow, prepare for like 2 hours. And look, I knew it wasn't 2 hours. Okay. Christine, about to buy your first pack. What do you recommend? I'd do a clearance bundle. Please add the Mitoplex. Do the clearance bundle and caffeine or caffeine free. And then please add the Mitoplex. So
what are you saying, boss Lee? I'm following the story, but I'm not following the sales stuff. Like, who is watching this? Who is buying? What is that? I have no idea. I'm so out of the loop on dumb MLM companies. What is she purchasing? What are people buying? Who are people? Who's watching this? I don't understand. Is this all fake? Let me know.
What can I say? I mean, I told him, I said, just be prepared. You bring as much water as you think you need for just, bring enough water for a full day. You might get cold. So I bring a cold weather outfit. You might go swimming. It's up to you. I do ship to the Netherlands. Yes, please.
She's like, I prepared everyone perfectly well. Okay, I told them it was for 2 hours. Okay, so if I was to go on a trip and someone's like, that hike is 2 hours, which is sometimes how people, and including myself, will buy excursions, where it's like, oh, thank you. Ladies on Lions donated $1.49 through Super Chat. Okay, did you say anything? Let's see. Oh, you chose a purple cat. Hey, that matches your name. The Ladies on Lions / Purple Cats. This one's for you.
My mouth is so bored.
That was uncomfortable for me to say. Also, let's just do a clear while we're here.
Clear.
Cleansing. And also, I'm feeling as an empath, I'm feeling that she doesn't like to stand in one spot. She likes to move around. She must have a lot of energy.
I happen to be an empath myself.
Her vibes are very high. So thank you, Ladies on Lines. I appreciate that. But going back to what I was saying about the excursions, if it says moderate, 2 hour hike, okay, that's going to change my mindset. How much sleep I'm going to get the night before, how much water I'm going to pack, what I'm going to eat in the morning, because you're supposed to plan for what you're being told and what your expectations are, not for the worst case scenario every single time. Why would that be what you should do as a person who's also supposed to trust this woman who's the leader of their group? So you should not trust what she says because she could be full of shit and lying to you and actually purposely misleading you. So when she's saying, oh yeah, I prepared them well. No, you didn't. You didn't say you're going on a 15-mile hike. That would have changed everyone's mindsets. And it's not even a fair judgment of oh, well, you didn't prepare. It's yeah, well, I brought a gallon of water as opposed to a cooler of my entire, fridge of liquids. I don't know. I just think if you really wanted to test people, first of all, don't do that ever. But if you really wanted to understand who is, going to come prepared, tell them what you're doing and then see who follows through. That seems much more humane. But okay, go off, queen.
International shipping. I said, look, just prepare yourself. If you're somebody who needs some snacks, take some snacks. If you're somebody who gets hot easily, bring your bug spray if you're prone to bugs. And the smart thing to do would be ask leading questions, So one person was really smart and she went up to Sasha. She said, hey, she's so smart for this. She goes, I'm on my period. How many tampons do I need to bring? I don't even know if she was on her period. How many tampons should I bring if I'm going to change my tampon every 2 hours? And she goes, would 5 be enough? And Sasha was like, no, you might want to double that. So that was very intelligent. This was very, very intelligent stuff for her to ask that.
Nothing that has been said thus far has been intelligent. No offense. Offense, actually. You can be offended by that. That's weird. So she likes it when people are suspicious and are asking leading questions of her because they don't trust her. That's a very odd and unique and innovative leadership style. Please tell me more. Thank you to Beauty School Dropout. Beauty School Dropout says, hi and love your stream. Oh, thank you. Hi.
Since then, we've also healed a car.
That is just a random thing I wanted to tell you. And
the mango frequency,
which actually could have been a part of this retreat since they were on a Colombian island, or I guess I don't know if it's an island, but they were on the coast of Colombia. They have mango frequencies there. So thank you to Beauty School Dropout. I appreciate that. Okay, so she's enamored by the tampon woman. She's the smartest of the group. Okay, got it.
Because then she knew, oh shit, we're spending the night somewhere. So she prepared like crazy. That was Jamie Lynn did that, by the way. So she was the most prepared.
Spears?
Right? So really, really intelligent because she started doing the math. Now, the crazy thing is Kelsey Ray overheard that and still didn't prepare. Okay. So we start and literally we had already talked to, I'll talk about Megan's baby shower in a second. We literally had already spoken to our guides because we put the whole thing together with these guides. And we said, if anybody asks throughout the entire day, how much longer, someone who wants to be able to control everything, we told them, we said, you have to say, we're almost there.
As someone who wants to control everything, as if you aren't, as the leader, controlling all of these people's entire days by manipulating them and lying to them. Okay, so that's the sign of someone who's a weak person who wants to control everything. Meanwhile, that's exactly what you're doing, and you're telling people just be around me to gain success, and you'll figure it out just by being in my presence. Okay, I'm not understanding your leadership style. Once again, I'm getting it because it's all bullshit, as all of these things are bullshit. But she's not even realizing the hypocrisy of what she's already saying.
So even if they ask 20 minutes in, how much longer? We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. We're almost there. Okay. Now here's where people got stupid. So we dropped people off. Like gummy bear tastes exactly like if you take the bag of gummy bears, you dump it out and you lick the inside of the bag. So it's kind of like a blend of all of them. It's one of my favorite flavors of all time.
She's got the storyline and then she's reading comments and responding. Just FYI, I don't think she's talking into her own brain. I believe she's someone's like, what does gummy bear taste like? And she's answering it in between the story of insanity, just by the way.
Okay. So so we planned it to be like this because the whole thing was I wanted to break people, but not destroy them, just
Okay, we're going to go back for that moment. I wanted to break people is what she said there. Sarah C. Thank you, Sarah C. Sarah C says she sells a product at the seashore. She sells a product that claims to be ketones that helps you poo your brains out and you pretend it's healthy. Love Boss Lee and her lies. That sounds like every MLM product I've ever heard of. Even Monate is like, this hair care will make you detox and poop. I don't know why. That's everyone's goal, is to poop their brains out, apparently. And for that,
they're going to be dropping some really powerful, amazing, life-changing shiz.
after they take their ketone green juice smoothie pixie stick concoction. That's also a serum that also is a face mask if you try hard enough.
He's always in the bathroom.
There you go. Thank you, Sarah C. And I'm going to check these members just in case. If you're not joining for the first time, you're trying to send me a message, I'm going to check the other message board thing that I have to do. So thank you for that. And let's continue. So let's go back a second, actually. So she said, I want to break people. I think that needs to be heard.
The whole thing was I wanted to break people, but like not destroy them, just like I wanted to see where their mindset is, because in business you get really uncomfortable and most people quit. All right. And I want it. And in business and in leadership, people quit on you. And then people do this blaming thing all the time. Like losers blame people. And I wanted to find out where my losers are. I want to find out who my winners are. I want to see who people are with super strong mindsets. I wanted to find out. I wanted to get really clear on who I am rocking with in this business. Okay?
And by the way, these are her top her top talent or whatever, her top 15 performers, I guess, people who have paid her money to participate in this, retreat mastermind bullshit. So she wants to find out who out of the top 15 out of however 1,000 many people are in her downline are the losers. That's good. Okay. That's good to know. So you hate everybody basically. Okay. Got it. Chels Marie. Thank you, Chels Marie. Chels Marie says, have to mute this part. Boss Lee makes me want to vomit and scream. Well, no, I'm just kidding. If you don't want to hear it, I understand. But if you want to vomit more, there's a product for you. It's called Green Juice by Boss Lee. Apparently, it'll make you vomit as well. And for that, I say, here's one that everyone hates. If you hate the sound of throwing up, close your ears as well.
I want to throw up. Hold on.
That is the sound of someone becoming energized.
I am not a medical authority, but
I don't think any MLM product is good for you. Maybe doing a Beachbody stretching class, isn't probably the worst for you, but the Shakeology element probably isn't so great for you. Maybe, brushing your hair with a Monat brush isn't so bad, but probably putting detox shampoo that clumps your hair out probably isn't good for you. And I'll stand by that to the day I die on a 17-mile hike. Thank you, Chels Marie. And the last thing I'll say is,
I peed my pants.
I peed my pants. Thank you. Okay, here we go.
So we planned to make them walk 5 kilometers in direct sunlight on the side of a Colombian road. And so the van stops after a 40-minute drive into the middle of nowhere. And the van, by the way, I forgot to mention this. The van had just enough seats for 16 people. So people were crammed in there like sardines. And I said, I suggest you don't talk. I suggest you use this time to sleep and stay cool. When they should have listened. They were dumb. Not everyone was dumb, but not everybody was sleeping.
I'm sorry. Are you a psychotic dictator? What is going on? First of all, okay, what happened is insane, but you are going to now force them to sit together. It seems sadistic at this point. I understand testing people and trying to push their buttons to see what their reaction is, I guess. I mean, I'm giving you a lot of, benefit of the doubt with that, but don't speak on the ride there. And we're going to cram you in on purpose and make you walk on the side of a road in direct sun. It just seems like you're going a little overboard. No pun intended. My God, what is wrong with you?
And certainly people were talking, which makes them hotter, and they were not resting. Dumb. You need to listen to instructions. When the leader speaks, listen.
Again, psychotic. I'm sorry. This is psychotic behavior. There's nothing that I can say to defend this at all. Nothing. Not one thing. Listen to the leader. Are these people children? Are they under your care and supervision? What is your problem? I don't get it.
Okay. So I was trying to give them hints all along the way. Conserve your water. I was trying to tell them, if you feel like you're prone to bugs, be ready for this. Okay. So
listen to your leader, except when they tell you what the actual trip is supposed to be like and what to bring. Then don't listen. Then you're an idiot if you don't ask 25 follow-up questions and then doubt that they're telling you the truth. None of this makes sense. Oh my God. This is worse. I didn't listen to this yet, this part. This is worse than I actually thought it was.
Some of you are like, I'm out. Like, never mind. Don't want to join her team. Listen. All right.
Everyone should.
So we drop off and we get out and we're literally in the side of a road in sticker bushes. And immediately there's some people like, and I'm like, put your hiking boots on, man. I don't know what to tell you. Courtney was all excited. She's like, should I put the pants on now? Should I put the pants on later? I'm like, I don't know. If you want to put pants on now, you can. I'm not putting pants on right now. I think it's a little hot right now. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. We're about to be at the hottest part of the day. Okay, what are in the cans? This is keto up.
What does this have to do with selling MLM products on your phone in the nooks and crannies of your free time? What is it? Is MLM the hardest journey you're ever going to have to traverse? Or is it the easiest thing that you do in your passive time? The conflict is so confusing. Are you the CEO of your own business? Or do you have a CEO who is so amazing and gives you so many great products? Which one is it? You guys both live in these quadrants of the world in your mind. And I don't know how to feel at any given time other than disgusted.
Ketosis, so fat loss, muscle preservation, sleep, skin, mood, focus, energy, and digestion. Okay, so Courtney was like, yeah, what about? Oh, I got some extra stickers. Like she's putting all this because she was bug spraying. She was prepared with that. I'll give her that. I was like, I wouldn't put pants on if I were you. Okay, but anyway, she was really excited though. And so we're on the side of the road, and I literally mean the side of a road. Okay. So cars are zoom, zoom, zoom right here. I'm like, get in line. So you got people who are scared of heat. They're scared of exercise. They're scared of they're going to dehydrate. They're scared of motorways. They're scared of all this. Okay.
As they should be. Yeah, that's the correct emotion. Do you not have emotions that match the correct atmosphere? Because it seems like you're the one who doesn't understand. Like those are all very valid given the situation. Okay.
And so we're walking on the side of the road and I'm just like, get it going. Like I knew how far we were going in the direct sunlight. Not that
it's funny how when you know something, you can prepare adequately. It's so shocking how that might be a good thing to learn as a leader. Prepare your team correctly for what their expectations are instead of fooling them for no reason. Okay, sorry. I'm going to let it play.
It mattered, but I was like, here we go. Now now look, I did actually over prepare. All right. I thought I had to have enough water for 18 hours. So I brought 5 liters of water because if you don't know about me, I'm a freaking camel. So my book bag was really heavy, which I was like, damn it. But I was like, let's go. Like, I'm not going to dehydrate because you don't want to see me dehydrated. All right. So I'm just going. Sasha.
Oh, would you act with emotion like you're blaming your team for acting like?
We're chatting. 15 minutes into this freaking walk, walk. 3 people are like, I gotta pee. One of which is Courtney. Now Courtney's like in such an excited mood that she like runs into the woods. Like I can see. And then she runs out, right? She runs out after 2 people who like moseyed into the woods. Okay. And I'm like, oh, they should not be moseying anywhere because we have a really, really long way to go. Okay. But they're in the woods. And I don't know, man, they were like, a long time. I'm like, this is bad. This is bad for momentum. I literally know that we have at least 15 hours left of this, but whatever.
15 hours.
And like for me also, one of the little keys, because I do all these crazy hikes and, go to the Middle East and I'll hike through the desert and whatever. Like when you have to pee and you know it's going to be really hot, don't pee. Like let your body like sweat out the water, just FYI. Okay. So I'm literally on the side of the road. All these cars are like going by, like whatever. And then it's hot. Like, I'm not going to lie. You're on asphalt. It's the dead heat of the equator. We're in Cartagena. Okay. And we're just going. And then first person goes like, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? It was 25 minutes into this walk and somebody literally is done. And I look at Sasha. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? I told them for the last.
And then I pushed her in front of the cars because she doesn't deserve to live with that piss ass attitude. I mean, that's like the extremeness that I'm expecting in this video, given how far we've gone already. It's like, what could possibly be out of the question for this woman? I have no idea.
Last 90 days to go to the gym. Like literally, so I'm mad.
How many gyms would replicate the hot sun on asphalt next to a road in Colombia in the middle of whatever hot temperature they're in. Like what exercise would what treadmill setting is that? Because I don't know how that would be a good preparation. Like, okay, I was doing crunches in my air-conditioned garage for 90 days. How is that going to help in this given situation when you don't know what you're supposed to be preparing for?
I'm checking my emotional intelligence because I'm like, are you kidding me? We've done nothing. We've literally walked on a straight road.
I'm checking my emotional intelligence. You should check it again. Babe, check it again. I think you left it at home. I think you left it in your other backpack because I don't think you have it with you, honey buns.
And this person starts blaming. She's like, well, we're on a hill. I'm like, I see hills nowhere. We're in Colombia. You know what I mean? Like, what is going on? And then I start getting mad. I'm like, what? And then this person starts to mention, well, I have diabetes. I got to check my blood sugar. And Sasha and I look at each other like, nobody mentioned diabetes. Like, we might actually kill people on this trip. Like, we literally thought that. I was like, oh my God. He's like, do you have your blood sugar monitor? I don't know why I'm still walking because we were definitely not walking, which was pissing me off. Anyway.
I was pissed off by the person with diabetes because we weren't walking. Okay. All right. Okay. I'm assuming they made it out alive, so I'm going to not feel any emotion part of this story. But okay, no one told us about the diabetes. Okay, no one told us about this fucking walk either, but here we are. So let's figure out a way out of this pointless situation.
So she takes out the blood sugar thing. Her blood sugar's at 243. And I'm like, are you serious right now? How is your blood sugar at 243 if you're diabetic, you know? I'm like, I don't even understand this. Sasha, I don't even know what that means, by the way. I don't know anything really about diabetes. Sasha's like, how is this your sugar? Like, what are you eating? She goes, well, I got off the bus and I had a candy bar because I was tired. And Sasha's like, are you fucking kidding me? He's German, by the way. He's like, you're diabetic. Like, why? Why did you have a candy bar? You know? And she's like, I don't know. And he's like, and I'm like, contraband. So then one of our little.
She missed her calling as a one of those wilderness camps for children. As the warden of that, she would be really good. She's the perfect type. She's like, some headhunter needs to like recruit her immediately for that position, because I think if you really wanted to traumatize teen girls, that she would be the one to be able to pull it off. You know, your emotional intelligence needs to be at base level, and Boss Lee, she's got that one key element where there's just no fucks given apparently. In the name of selling MLM products better, more successfully, it ain't worth it to me. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous and crazy. I'm laughing because it's like so insane.
Poor guy takes her book bag, right? And I'm like, taking your book bag, this is for the week, right? And I start trying to coach her through it. I'm like, one step in front of the other, all right? And I'm like, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it wasn't even that fast. But I'm like, get it going, girl, get it going. So then.
This is so sad.
I'm like looking up ahead and I see that there's a commotion. All right.
This is so sad and this is again like what the cults, from what my experience watching all the documentaries possible about cults, is that this is the type of stuff. It's like, okay, you're being pushed, you're feeling uncomfortable, and your internal regulation is telling you to stop. They're like, okay, this is a bad situation. It could be dangerous. This person's obviously insane. Like, what's going on? You get out of this. And then because you have all the people who are also in the cult and the leader saying, no, this is exactly why you're here in the first place, to test this out. And this is going to make you a better person. And the reason why you've even shown up here, because, you know, God or whoever has told me that you're supposed to be here, or whatever the tactic is. You feel like, oh, this is a test. I need to overcome this. And maybe you do overcome it. And then you feel this like emotional like release, like, oh, I did this really hard thing I didn't, think I could do. It's like, yeah, but you don't need to put yourself in these abusive situations. Like the fact that you're even there in the first place is bad. And I think that's what bonds them all together. Because it's like, well, it's like the sunken cost fallacy where it's like, I've already suffered so much. I might as well stick with this so I can become a millionaire, I guess. And it's just like this never ending cycle of you're never going to get out until you're fed up or die. And I mean, people have died from things like this before. Like if you look at James Arthur Ray's hot sweat lodge retreat, 3 people died at that. And it was very similar to push yourself, stay in there. You can do it. Don't give up. Oh, you have a medical condition? It's fine. It's all about your mindset, your willpower. And they fucking died in this sweat lodge. I guess no one died at this, I'm assuming, because she's still posting about it as if it's the most miraculous thing that's ever happened in the world, this dumbass retreat. But if someone did die, then we'd be having a different conversation. And it's just like, you're lucky this time, but next time, this may not be the same story, and this will be played on the documentary. And you can interview me. I was there first. No, I was there 5th. Many people before me covered this already. Anyways, Laura Schreiner, thank you. Laura says, as a type 1 diabetic, I can't even. Well, did you ever have a candy bar in your life, Laura? If so, contraband. She's on something, and I think it's ketones, green smoothie for energy.
This is just stupid.
This is how I feel.
Somebody ought to smack you.
I don't often say that, but Dave Ramsey said it best in this case.
This situation is a red flag. This person is not okay.
Thank you, Rachel. This person is not okay. Thank you, Laura. Okay, keep going. She's walking. She's pushing. She's coaching people through this.
And then one of our Colombian tour guides in his flip-flops, mind you, starts in flops. Literally in flops. He's running. And I'm like, oh my God, somebody else is down for the count. What is going on? This is, you gotta be kidding me. It's been 45 minutes at this time. 45 minutes. And I know this is a 15-hour situation, guys. 15 hours. We're just getting started.
Maybe this wasn't a good idea. How about that? How about that idea?
Yeah, okay. I was getting a little spicy. All right. So I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is happening right now? And I look up ahead, you know, I don't have binoculars, but I'm pretending, okay? So I look up ahead like this, and I see someone on the ground, like literally on the ground. I'm like, no way. Like, this is actually impossible. Somebody's on the ground, and they're like, I'm overheating. It's so hot. I can't walk this long.
These are people she admires, or at least she has on some sort of pedestal that they're able to be around her genius. Okay, mind you, this is how she speaks about the people she actually potentially likes. Okay, just so we all know.
Like looking at Sasha, looking at Mateo, looking at Sasha, looking at Mateo. Mateo's like, I can tell the little Colombian man is talking he's speaking in Spanish to Mateo. Like, why are these gringos falling over? Like, I want to know what's going on. Like, why are these?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what he was saying. He's like, I don't want to be here doing this. Let's go back. This lady, but Jessie Lee is loco crazy, okay? No.
These gringos, like, this is 2 gringos in a row, okay? Like, you could tell he was just like, I'm very confused. Like, what are we doing here?
It's like he's going to get sued.
It's going to be too. And you could tell that the tour guides were like, this ain't going to be good. And then so I pulled Sasha and Taylor aside. I'm like, what are we going to do?
Go
like,
home.
Is there a 911 for Colombia? Like, this person's.
No, they actually don't have any police or hospitals there. Everyone knows that. They have 5-star resorts, but there's no cops or 911 or anything to call. For sure. You just have to, like I said, throw yourself into the traffic. That's how they solve issues in Colombia. Why don't you figure that out in advance? How about a backup plan? That's a good leadership tactic, Boss Lee, for you to have, for you to work on.
On the ground says they're we're checking their blood, their their pulse, everything. This person's not diabetic. Thank God. I thought we were gonna have 2 diabetics. I'm like, oh
thank God.
Nobody told us anything, right? So anyway, long story short, we had to call an emergency. Did
you ask leading questions to everyone when they signed up for this retreat? Did you ask them how many insulins they were going to need for a 15-hour trek? How about you ask them some questions? It's a 2-way street.
Motorcycle, 45 minutes into the walk, okay, on the side of the road. I'm like, there's no way, man. No freaking way. So anyway, the rest of the group keeps going ahead. We push ahead, and we walk the entire direct sunlight Like, I don't know how hot it was, whatever. I don't really care. It's just heat, okay? It's all on your head. We get to the bird aviary area, okay? And maybe some people...
Go touch a stove and tell yourself that. That's my challenge to Bossly. Go touch the top of a stove while it's on and challenge yourself. It's called the heat is all a mindset challenge. And see how long your mindset allows you to keep your hand on the hot stovetop. That's a good challenge. You could definitely become more famous by doing that.
Scared of birds, I don't really know, but we get to the bird place and there are birds everywhere, like peacocks and flamingos and all kinds of stuff. It was actually really cool. But we're inside this thing. We were supposed to have 2.5 hours. We start realizing we spent an hour on the side of we're at least an hour behind. We're like, this is really bad. Like, this is actually really bad. I know it was not really that hot. It was just sunlight and we all had hats on. So I don't know, but neither here nor there. So we get to the bird place. Bird place is really cool. And then we have to keep walking. Okay. So we got to keep going. So this is probably 5-6 hours in or something like that at this point. And then so we're walking, we're chatting, we're walking and we're chatting, we're walking and we're chatting with everybody. And then they think we go to a beach. I mean, we did go to a beach. All right. So we went to a beach and they were like, oh, is this where we put the bathing suits on? Is this where we put the bathing suits on? And I'm like, actually, Courtney said that. Are we going swimming? This is Courtney. Are we going swimming? I'm like, Courtney.
She hates everybody. I have not seen one positive thing except for adoration for the German man who was screaming, how dare you have diabetes and eat a candy bar, you dumb bitch. Like, that's the one person she's like, I love him so much. Everyone else she has mimicked and made fun of profusely on this call, which is supposed to be some sort of celebratory thing for them. But the confusing part is that, everyone that's commenting, love this trip, so great. Like, are you hearing what I'm hearing here? Do you like being bullied and ridiculed online? Like, okay. Seek help also. Thank you to King Intern. King Intern says, IDK if I can watch this again, but I'm going to try. Thanks for covering this. You're welcome. This was sort of a last minute add-on, but I saw I was starting to heat up and I saw, oh God, what's his name? Steven Hassan post about it. He's like a cult expert. And so when I saw he was posting about it, I was like, okay, let me take another look at it. And then I was like, you know what? Let's do it today. Cause I was going to watch it, wait on it, see how, and I was like, no, we're going to do it. We're going to do it live. So
I do not give a fuck.
I'm just kidding. I do.
Unfollow me.
If you don't think I do. Okay. Anyways, King Intern, thank you.
But also, I don't regret anything.
That's how I feel about Bossly. She doesn't regret anything. And she never will, I guess, is what I see, until she's in prison, maybe one day. One day.
Get your hearts ready.
All right, get your hearts ready. We're only halfway done with this. We got a half, we're over the hill of the experience. We're going to go down it, I guess, at some point. All right, here we go.
No, I wouldn't put your bathing suit on right now. Oh, Courtney's watching, so perfect. So she's like, are we going to go to the beach?
This is Courtney. She's so stupid. This is she's watching. Great. Okay. Great. Let's do more ridicule.
It's still very hot outside because it's probably, I don't know, 5 o'clock or something like that. And I'm like, I wouldn't yet, because the whole point was we were going to make them walk 2 miles, okay, on the beach. We're going 2 miles on the beach. I don't see what the question was, but, okay. So 2 miles on the beach, and then we were taking them rock climbing. All right. So these people are already like very stressed out. We're walking them on the beach. They're starting to maybe we're going to go to a private beach. So they're kind of excited again. Ooh, a private beach. And Mateo and I are just laughing at each other. Sasha's just laughing. Rendy's over here. Rendy, I can tell, can't believe she's exercising. We get to this rock wall, and I mean, you could tell that there was.
Poor Rendy, Jesus. She is shocked that she is moving her legs because she is a lazy ass bitch. That's what I got from that. Okay, cool.
Some panic in the air. Okay, so what I'm using their pure therapy. Oh, I did take Keto Kick. Okay, so you're seeing Keto Kick right now, live in action. All right, so go ahead, buy your Keto Kick bundle. All right, I'm like, why do I have this much energy? What happened? All right.
Yeah, okay, we're calling it Keto Kick now. Got it. That's what it's called.
Right. So But at any rate, so then they had to get like on all fours. They had to actually climb up these walls. People are freaking out. Jamie Lynn is even like, I can't do this. I literally don't think I can do this. I can't do this. I don't think I can do this. And then she starts talking to herself positively. She's like, I can do this. I'm strong. I trust my body. And they're throwing themselves on the rocks and they're having like not fun, but they were hiking up the rocks.
No, not fun. They were miserable, but they did it. Okay. As someone who rock climbs fairly often, I'm still scared with all of the correct gear, with like the practice and training that I've gotten. Like, I'm still scared, and I haven't even gone outside. I've done rappelling one time outdoors, and it was a terrifying experience, and I signed up for it, and I knew I was doing it. So the fact that these people are doing this without any reward at the end of it other than survival, that's terrifying. And I, again, feel bad for that. And that's something that just doing it in the first place or trying to do it is an accomplishment within itself. So the fact that she's also saying like, they were doing it, I guess, and they, figured it's like, there's no appreciation for how they're actually trying, which is more than I would have done. I'd been like, no, I'm out. Bye.
And then because we were so far behind, we're supposed to be a point that was going to be pretty scary for everybody, where we did get to it, but then we couldn't go because the tide was too high. They were going to have to get totally soaking. They were kind of going to get thrown against the rocks at the same time that they hold on to the rocks and kind of like scale the rocks like I've done in Austria before, but not quite so extreme, but enough to scare the piss out of them, okay? So...
like I've done in Austria before. Yeah, okay, sure. Sure, Bosley, sure. This is like your friend who's telling a story where they ultimately did everything wrong. They're like, can you believe that I got in trouble for not showing up to my job for 7 days in a row and then I punched my boss in the face and he's mad at me? Can you believe it? Like, the storytelling is so ridiculous. And it's like, are you hearing yourself right now? Oh my God. Okay.
And we went,
sorry.
So we were going to go then around and up, and there was going to be a place to watch the sunset. But because the tide was so high, we weren't able to do that in Colombia, but that's okay. So we turned back around. We head back down the rocks. People again are kind of like losing their minds a little bit. Like, oh my gosh, people are super scared. They're jumping over the rocks and stuff like that. You can tell they're a little scared. They're going to fall into the ocean as the waves just kept crashing and crashing and crashing. And then we told them to stop. So then we're like, all right, we're going to go walk on the beach. So then we went another 2 more miles on the beach. So two full miles on the beach. And I could hear them saying like, oh, my calves. Oh, my ankles are weak. Oh, and I'm like, keep it moving. And we're setting the pace. Some people started getting really scared. What's wrong? You can tell.
There's a lot wrong. There's a lot wrong with this.
Some people were like, oh, you're going in there, aren't you? Some people were like really scared. They were like, oh gosh, we sit down on the beach. The bugs start coming out. So I don't like sitting there, but that's fine. We watched the sunset together. It was super gorgeous in Colombia. And then we get back up again and we start walking again. Now here's where it got really interesting for me. They thought we were done. This is one of the first times that they were like, okay, it's not a 2-hour hike. We're on like hour 8 or 10, but everything's okay. It's not too bad yet, but this is not what we...
And I could not have that. I could not have my team with a shred of relief. I was going off the edge if they were going to take a breath of relaxation. So I threw them into the ocean and none of them could swim. We asked them in advance. None of them could swim. And we made sure to put them where they would drown to death. Now, most people would think this is crazy, but as an MLM distributor, we know that we are strong enough to overcome even a simple, I don't know, I'm going off on a tangent that doesn't make sense. As an MLM distributor, we are specialized in our training to be able to call out for help on social media and join Facebook groups. So we knew that they would somehow swim to the surface. Okay, that led somewhere, I guess. Thank you, Mrs. G. Mrs. G says, she reminds me of Ben Stiller from Heavyweights. I don't, what is that movie? I'm assuming that's a movie. Heavyweights with Ben. It sounds familiar, but is that the one where he throws like tools at the kid's face? Because if so, that also sounds right. Okay, I'm looking at the pictures. Interesting. Heavyweights. Oh, when they're at the camp with Keenan. Here it is. That's Heavyweights. Okay, I'll have to watch it again. Is it on Disney Plus? Let us know. Maybe we can have a watching party.
You are privileged AF.
I am not problematic.
That's what Boss Lee says to herself when she goes to sleep at night.
I am not problematic.
Are you problematic?
Me.
Yes, you. Thank you, Mrs. G. Okay, back to the video. Jump scare.
We were expecting, right? And you could tell that they thought we were done. We're not done. We stop and we tell them, hey, we're going to eat here. So then they start bringing out raw meat and we build a fire.
Okay, I thought they were going to make them eat raw meat. Okay, good. At least there's a fire, I hope. And then the fire went out because our team cannot have fire.
And on a grill, we grill chicken and beef.
Okay.
And grilled pineapple, and there were potatoes, and we ate off of literal leaves.
Fine.
And Rendy's actually had sand on it. So Rendy had some chicken tenders, basically, but that's okay. It fell into the sand. And they were actually excited. By then they were kind of like, yeah, this is cool. Like, I'm adaptable. I'm good. Like, I can do anything. You could tell that they were starting to shift into more powerful versions of themselves at this point.
Because they thought it was over, probably. They're like, okay, we did this crazy lady's adventure. Now we can go back to our resort and sleep. Little did they know, apparently there's more to come.
But then they definitely thought we were done. And then we said, surprise. Now, this is right around 11 p.m. So you tell me in the, she said my chicken was super crunchy. Tell me in the chat, in the comments, what color is the sky generally at 11 p.m. in the evening? Unless you're...
Purple. Magenta. Chartreuse. I don't know. I hate guessing.
Scandinavia in the summer, which we're not right now. Okay, so take a gander, give me like a color, give me a color pattern that happens around, midnight, 11 p.m. Like, what color are we looking at? That's right. Thank you, Queen Sky. Black, dark. Jacqueline, black, 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 black. The sky's pitch black. Pitch black. No one's around us. Complete.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna write that down as a soundbite potential. What are we, an hour and 3 in? Okay. Black, 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 black. I'll just take it out of context and it'll be great. It'll be wonderful.
Seclusion. We're not like on the beach with people, guys. We took them to a completely secluded area, all alone. There is nobody. You can't scream and get safety. We put them in complete seclusion from the world. Okay?
No safety.
No one's coming to help you. Nobody's coming to save you. Good luck. Okay. Which already would panic some of you, right? And so then I say, hey guys, we're gonna get in the boat. And you could see a lot of these people on their faces were like, why are we getting on a boat almost at midnight?
Yeah, good questions.
And I'm like, come on, shorties, let's go on a boat. Okay, because I knew it was gonna happen. So then we drive out on a boat for about, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We're now in the middle of the ocean.
Oh my God. All these people, and I mean this in the nicest way possible, they need therapy and the therapist needs to watch this video and at every part say, okay, so what were your thoughts here? And what would you do now differently? And work through the trauma of this situation, of how this person is perceiving the situation and how a healthy person would perceive the situation. Because the fact that these people aren't like just horrendously mad, I don't know. They must be very, very, very well manipulated by this point.
And I know some of you have a fear of what? Of, the ocean, of deep water. Thank you for your order, by the way. Appreciate you. Middle of the ocean, pitch black, nothing to see but stars, no lights anywhere. We're not near towns. We're not near people. We're not near villages. We're in the middle of the ocean, pitch freaking black. And the boat stopped. And I go, okay, jump off. And they're like, what? And I said, jump into the ocean. At midnight.
This is the fear of parents when they ask you that question, like, if your friends jumped off a cliff, would you? This is the friend they're all envisioning. And all these people do it, but it's actually probably the parents who are the ones who are involved in the situation. It's like, oh my God. This is bad. This is bad.
I said, jump into the ocean. So they have their life vests on. And you could see they're like, some of them were like, nope, absolutely not. Absolutely
Good.
not. It is cold. It is.
That's the strength of a true leader right there. For people to say, absolutely not. I am not following your orders, you internet loser. I'm sorry. I don't care how many 7 figures you have in your businesses, how many pixie stick keto tins you sell. I ain't doing this dumb shit. That's what they all need to say. I wish they did. I'm glad some did.
It is pitch black. I do not jump into black water. I do not jump into deep water. I do not jump into the ocean, period. Hell
Good.
No. But I didn't just take them to deep water.
Oh God. I actually put them into shark infested water. Allison Wonderland 66, thank you, says, seriously, this is evidence for the jury to see. Yeah. And maybe it's not this experience that kills somebody or traumatizes somebody to the point of causing permanent damage. But the next time, and I don't think she's going to slow down anytime soon, according to her excitement here. This will be definitely complimentary character evidence against her as a sadistic, maniacal cult leader. Honestly, like, it is a commercial cult, as they say. It's like involving a company. I'm assuming these people are involved in their own MLMs or under her in her MLM. I don't know exactly, but it's still dangerous. It still could kill you. It still could get you, seriously injured. I mean, if a propeller in the middle of the night is, on or something, or someone hit a rock or someone got bit by something, I mean, like, she doesn't care if you get eaten alive. She doesn't even care that you're like dying from a diabetic coma on the side of the road. So yeah, like, you're not going to be saved by this woman. I don't know. This will probably get worse, I'm assuming, in the future.
Actually took them to Plankton. Oh, cool. Nice. I still think that. Okay.
We're missing one?
Yeah, we can part time now.
Well, there is one.
No, I already grabbed that one. So I literally took them to Plankton. So if you don't know this, if you've ever seen SpongeBob SquarePants, hi, Kuba Chows. So plankton glow as soon as you touch them. So they jumped off of the boat into plankton, and everywhere they moved, you see green glowing all over the place. It was rookie.
Okay, I don't know if all plankton glows like that. I don't think that's an accurate statement. But we have that in Florida. It's very, very cool. It's in the summertime. I forget what it's called, but it's like, it's got a certain name, but you can go out into certain watery areas, like a canal or something. It's not usually in the ocean. It's usually a little bit shallower water. But if you have the opportunity to go see it, it is glowing, and it's a very, very cool experience. And sometimes, if you're lucky, in Florida especially, there's manatees and you get to see them glowing, and then there's like dolphins, and then they can glow. I can't explain it exactly accurately, and you can't really capture it well on video, but it's one of those experiences that if you have the chance to do it, you should do it. Not in the middle of the ocean, not with this psychopath, but on your own time, within your bounds of comfortability and freedom. So I feel bad for these people that they had experienced something so cool in such a traumatic situation, because it is a great experience. Anyways, JB, thank you, JB. JB says, I have to hope some of her cult members resigned. I hope. I don't know. Sounds like some of them are in the chat and some of them are commenting how amazing it is. Now, maybe they're put up to it by her, by intimidation to say publicly nice things. But I'm hoping some of them, hopefully with some, intervention or guidance from someone else that now may be concerned for their safety, gets involved and intervenes. So we'll see.
Most people won't get up at 4 a.m.
Most people won't get up at 4 a.m.
Am I the only hippie?
Am I the only leader who makes their team jump in the ocean at midnight?
What up, homie?
Those are some random sounds for you. This one's a good one. This is the perfect soundbite for this live stream.
This girl a mess, y'all.
Thank you, Kendra. Agreed. Okay, we're nearing the end now.
It was everywhere. It was everywhere. You can't even capture it on camera. You can probably Google it and try and check it out. It'll do it no justice. It glows everywhere. And we were laughing so hard. We're screaming. Everybody got off. Everybody ended up jumping in. Everybody was scream laughing, crying, having so much fun. We're looking up at the stars. It's like crystal clear sky because there's no...
Okay, once again, she could have done all of this by starting at 11 p.m. saying, hey, we're going to go on a boat. We're going to go out to see this like glowing plankton, and avoided all of the other stuff to have this amazing experience. And it still would have been an amazing experience. Why did you have to make them suffer to get there? I think that's sort of the convoluted mentality going on here, that people need to be forced to suffer and be in pain for there to be a reward at the end.
Pollution, and it wasn't a full moon or anything. We were completely joyful. Everyone's like, oh my God. And then Brittany Anderson started talking about under the sea at the Krabby Patty and whatever. We were laughing so hard. We get back in the boats, we head back, and we debrief. So they started talking about how grateful they were for, for the warm water, how grateful they were for, the hard day where their bodies hurt and they thought they were going to give up. So grateful that they kept pushing, and for fresh water to drink and for all this stuff, right? For the food that we ate. And so they started having a lot of gratitude towards this stuff, and they really thought we were done. As a matter of fact, Courtney was like, I really thought for a minute there that we were going to spend the night here, because we really made it seem, like, oh shoot, I need to get the Instagram one to shut off. It's been an hour. Have to figure that out again. But anyway, we weren't done though. Okay. And after we went through the debrief, which was really awesome, and I actually hammered these people about, like, I didn't mean to be like this. I told them about the disappointment for their physical health, the disappointment for how much they have not been taking care of their bodies, the disappointment for clearly not eating well and taking care of themselves.
We all had a really good time, so I immediately pushed them down so that they would any shred of confidence that they had retained during this experience was ripped from their bodies and from their memories for this trip. Good.
I told them, like, I didn't keep anything from them about that. Thank you for following, by the way. Let me see. Let's do this again. Thank you, baby.
Katie, thank you. Katie and Kate's about to pop up too. We got two Kates in the house. Katie and Kate. Katie says, so is the lesson to trust her or not? Good question. I don't know. I guess both and neither at the same time. Because you got to I guess it's just to be really thin and on ketone energy powder is probably the only way to survive this experience. So this is what Bosley says.
I'm kind of a beast.
I'm sure she says that to herself at all times. Thank you, KT. And Kate, I don't know if it popped up yet, but Kate says, I really do wonder what Stephen Hassan would have to say about this whole event. He is going to do a response. I don't know at what point, but he said on his Instagram that he's going to make a response video or make a response in some form on Instagram. So if you follow him, Stephen Hassan, he's going to be talking about it. And he actually posted like the preview of the video already. So if you're interested in that, that is forthcoming.
Grandma has lung cancer.
My eyebrow stays on.
There you go. That's for Katie and Kate. Thank you very much. Okay. And now she's going to be getting back on Instagram and then hopefully wrapping this shit up because I am terrified.
Let's see.
You don't have even one
No, I already grabbed him.
This is engaging.
One sec, guys,
content.
and I'll finish that with you.
Can't wait.
Are live.
She's like,
how do I
need to tell everybody how much my team disappointed me. I didn't nail that yet. I didn't send that home with them.
You did it before.
I know, but now it's request to join.
Hurry up, Bosley. Where's the energy now? Where's the energy? 1, 2, 3, 4. Click the button. Click the button. Hurry up. This is unacceptable. This is
One sec.
embarrassing.
I know. Hold on.
This is so embarrassing for you. Oh my God, I'm so disappointed. You should have figured this out before. Where's your team? Where's your smartness? Why are you so dumb? Oh my God, come on, let's go. Why are you not doing this on time? Like, this is what she's doing to her people. Okay.
Here we go. Is it connecting over on that phone?
She didn't prepare enough. She should have known this was going to happen.
Okay. So anyway, sorry, I'm having Instagram issues. My Instagram's being crazy.
Not acceptable. No excuses.
Anyway, so then as soon as we're done the debrief and I kind of like get on these people and we have a leadership lesson, I'm coaching them a little bit, really powerful stuff. Funny Sasha goes, yeah, and now we're going to take you guys to your hotel. We're going to take you where you guys are going to stay tonight. The hotel you'll be staying at is called the Million Stars, AKA I made them sleep, whether they were prepared or not, on the beach in Colombia, in Cartagena. 2 of our guides had to stay up all night long because it's apparently actually extremely dangerous. You could be kidnapped or whatever. It didn't happen. No problem. We didn't feel endangered. It was flipping amazing. And I will tell you, you start having gratitude for everything. Kelsey Ray was really pissed off. I could see it on Rock.
I made the staff stay up our guide so that they could make sure we didn't get kidnapped. I wasn't afraid. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Yeah, put them in danger too. We were fine. Okay. Hindsight, it's 2020, I guess. Oh my God. This person's evil. I don't really believe in good and evil. But if I did, she's evil.
Was really mad. Rocks from Mexico was super mad. They weren't prepared, right? We told them, have warm weather clothes. They thought we were kidding. So Kelsey.
How does that prepare you to sleep outside, having warm clothes? And then also you said it was going to be so hot out that you're going to be walking and hiking for 2 hours during the hot sun. So I'm again confused at whose fault this is. It's yours. The buck stops with you, baby.
Had to sleep just in her bathing suit bottoms, which is not awesome when it's 70 degrees outside and you're on the ocean. I slept like a freaking angel. It was amazing. So
who gives a fuck, bitch? I'm sorry. I took too far. Stepped too far, maybe not. I'm sure that woman has a yeast infection. Unfortunately, if you're sleeping in wet bottoms in the cold, I hope someone sues her, because even with this, she just admitted to everything and that she's the mastermind and that she purposely did not tell them. So if someone does develop some sort of issue, either mentally or physically from this trip, she's screwed, and I hope she does get screwed.
And then the next morning we wake up, we have fresh fruit, we get on the boat, we walk back, no shoes allowed. We walk through the city of Cartagena, no shoes. And we get back to the house, and I had massage therapists waiting for all 16 people. I paid for.
Oh, okay. This is like someone who beats you, okay? And then at the end of it, gives you a hug and said, "Oh, you didn't deserve that," or "Oh, you made it. You're such a trooper that you survived the beating that I just put you through." And then they let you get a pedicure or something. It's like, it doesn't erase just because you do something nice now does not mean that all of that stuff that you've just done was completely unnecessary and abusive. That is manipulative. And it's like, oh, I'm going to cause you all this pain, all this trauma, and then I'm going to, give you a treat, give you a massage to make you feel better about all the pain I just put you through. Yeah, this person has major mental issues. I'm sorry. We all got mental issues. Some are minor, some are moderate. This is a major case. I don't care. I'm saying it because it's true. She needs help.
Full body massages for an hour and 15 minutes for every single person. And literally their whole lives are changed. So for the better. So the pictures, the video, everything, it does it no justice. My whole lesson in all of that to them and to you as well, if you're listening to this and watching this, is you guys, if you're wondering why your life keeps sucking, you're not putting yourself in positions to grow. Okay, you're literally not. You're not putting yourself in positions to grow. You have to force yourself to have pain in order to grow. Physical pain is how muscles grow.
I've never heard anything so stupid before and untrue. She said she slept like a baby. She should have slept in her bathing suit pants if she wanted to grow more then. Why doesn't she have to go through pain? It's so ridiculous because she's the leader. Oh, I don't have to do the pain. I've already had my pain. Okay. I don't know. It's just sad. Rachel, thank you, Rachel. Rachel says, wonder how the girl with the tampons is doing. Yeah, me too. She probably got ate by a plankton shark. I don't know. They forgot about her. She's at sea, maybe. I have no idea. I hope they're all okay. I mean, I hope in a year they're all recovered and out of this and making content, and we'll watch it and we'll just clap, clap, clap and be happy for them that they escaped this cult. Fingers crossed. Otherwise,
I'm gonna smash your phone.
I'm going to smash all their phones so that they can't contact Boss Lee and they save themselves. Yeah. She probably has toxic shock syndrome, most likely. I don't know. I guess she brought 5 times 2 tampons with her, so maybe she's all right. Let's hope. Thank you, Rachel. Okay, then we're done. We got 10 seconds left.
Mental pain is how your mind grows. Emotional pain is how you grow emotionally intelligent. All this
it's
stuff.
Not true.
So, yes, am I actually, I'm very successful. Facts are facts, okay?
Okay, facts are facts. I'm actually really successful. Whatever you tell yourself, girl. I don't care if you make $20 million. If you ever acted that way, you have failed at life. I don't care. You might have won capitalism. You might have won the manipulation game. You might have won having power over somebody, and good for you. Like, glad that you found what you find is interesting and important in life. I, however, will judge you and think that it is a sad case of what you've become and what you are doing to people, and enjoy having money and probably internally being miserable, because I don't understand how you could treat people this way and be anything but a cold-hearted fucking bitch. Sorry. I wish you the best, babe. And I am purposely being, snarky and sassy in that way and calling her honey and babe because, I don't like her and I want her to feel, emasculated. Put down from her power position because it's horrendous. Okay, well, that was Jessie Lee, aka Boss Lee's experience in Colombia. I don't know. I guess that's like the basics of the story. That is the footage that I was sent. I saw some of the comments that maybe there was like some additional information about it, but I think we get the picture for the most part. I think we got the gist of how great that trip was. How do I leave this? Oh, here you go. Let's take a little second here to have a positive moment to come out of this. Actually might be in this video. Maybe, perhaps. Wait, how old is this? 2 years? Maybe not. My friend used to work for like a PR agency in Florida, and one of the things that they were shooting was it's called bioluminescence. It's the glow in the dark stuff she was talking about. And we got to go for free and like experience it as part of the video shoot. So this may be it may not be. But you can kind of see it decently if you ever are in the mood. So all of that is like, all that glowing is like, I'll move out of the way. It's like natural glow. And it comes from I don't know if it's some sort of like, plankton maybe is the right word, or some sort of species that glows in a certain part when it's hot. But to go back to being depressed again, because the waters are changing, it's like hot water, now the oceans are changing temperature wise, and things are sort of, because of, I guess that's what they were telling us when we were on the trip, because of climate change, it's not being as easy to detect when it's going to come. Some summers it doesn't come at all. So if you want to experience this before global warming stops this phenomena from happening, or at least being able to predict when it's going to happen, do it now. Do it sooner than later. And actually this video footage is pretty good of how it actually feels and looks when you're out there. It's really cool. There's actually one in the winter too, but it's like mini jellyfish or something. It's a different species, but it looks similar in the wintertime too. So if you're in the market to visit Florida, that is one thing I highly suggest. And then you can visit our manatee, Zelda, as well. Here we go. Zelda is our manatee. Wait, I gotta fix myself. Hold on. Zelda, if you weren't here for this, Zelda is our channel manatee. And if you are in the Keys, which I believe may have bioluminescence, you can visit Zelda as well. That's where Zelda lives as of right now. So you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone and experience the glow-in-the-dark bioluminescence and hang out with Zelda, our manatee. Thank you. Okay, so that was Jesse's Bosley. Now, let's move on to, what should we do next? Let's do the abundance coach who's actually broke. Now, this is a long video. We're not going to watch the whole thing. I'm going to give you the synopsis on certain parts and then give you the key moments that I found to be the most interesting. So this is a YouTube channel, which I really like. I love the concept. It's very interesting. It's a guy, his name's Caleb Hammer, and he's big on TikTok. And I guess he just takes the videos from his TikTok or his YouTube and puts them on TikTok. So I highly suggest a sub. He's sort of Dave Ramsey style in the sense of not the big corporation where you can't have sex before marriage, but in the sense of he's like a no nonsense type of guy. Like if you're coming to him and you have a budgeting issue or you're saying like, I don't have any money, he's not going to sugarcoat it and say like, oh, just manifest it and just believe and you'll be fine. He's going to tell you, you need to cut back on this. This car payment's too high. You need to sell your car. You need to take out your, investments, whatever. So I tend to like that style as opposed to, like I said, like, if you believe, you will receive. And unfortunately, that seems to be what this spiritual coach believes. And it's sort of sad because it's sad and it's also annoying. It's sad because people who believe this stuff, they do believe it. I think I was one of those people who believed it and lost money during my journey to discovering that this whole industry is bullshit. But when you're in the thick of it and you're struggling, and at the time I was struggling mentally, I had not gone to therapy yet. I was not dealing with my issues head on yet with my childhood and all that. So that's where I was. And I was hoping to bypass that by, going to these little retreats and listening to Tony Robbins and Gary Vee and whatever. You find out over time, hopefully, if you're lucky, that it's all bullshit and, you can't manifest your way out of a bad budget. So I feel for her because I've been sort of in that situation where you're just holding on to these gurus' advice that if you invest in yourself, you will succeed. But at the same time, the YouTuber is telling him he's got some expertise, or at least he's done a lot of these audits where he looks at people's accounts. And even if he's not a financial expert, I think it's, people can read, okay, how many do you have? What's your monthly income versus your spending? And it's like obvious you need help. Anyways, so she'll do a little intro. I could not find her social media, which was like it is a red flag. I don't know how she's making money. She claims she makes $80,000 a year by being a spiritual coach. I found one other video posted about a month ago on a different channel. And she shared on that channel that she was an addict and a alcoholic, and that she, through the help of Tony Robbins, stopped drinking and I guess she claims that she's no longer addicted to anything, and now she's clean. And so I think that's good, but I also think her spending and things sort of, I don't know, it's like she's buying this coaching stuff and masterminds and stuff and spending money that she doesn't have. And she claims she makes $6,000 a month. But I don't know if that's true. She's saying that in this video, but I tend to believe that it's not maybe true. But anyways, okay, so I'm going to let her talk for a second. You can hear her voice and hear how she talks, and then we'll skip around a little bit. Anyways, here we go.
My name is...
So it says 27-year-old with more debt than anyone should ever have. Spiritual coach and income.
Rachel Justine, and I'm 27. I'm based out of Austin, Texas, and this is Financial Audit.
What do you do for a living in Austin, Texas?
My main thing is I am a spiritual coach.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
How does that go?
How does that go?
It's like therapy, or
it's not therapy. It's a hybrid between online coaching, online courses, and yeah, and also now that things are open back up, I'm doing in-person things, and it's.
However, once again, I could not find her social media. I could not find her website. I looked fairly extensively today for it, and she goes by Rachel Justine, and so I figured maybe she has a last name, so I looked up like spiritual coach Austin Rachel. Like I don't know what else to search for, but I had it open-minded to that it could be a different name. But this video got 565,000 views. It was posted 11 days ago. The TikTok that featured this episode got 2 million views on TikTok. So she may have deleted it because the comments were not necessarily positive in her favor.
A hybrid of like yoga, meditation, life coaching, upliftment, and essentially guiding people into feeling good and fulfillment in their life.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how successful are you in this?
Not. It's a work in progress.
Yeah.
It's a work in progress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so do you...
That's what she says. But then again, okay, but I think she's going to maybe talk about this in the clip. But she's like, I saw all these other people making $40,000 months. So in her mind, making $80,000 a year is not success for a life coach, which is sad too, because it's like that $80,000 job is an amazing job that many, many people would go to college to get a degree in, and you apparently are doing it with no qualifications. Like, be proud of yourself for that at least. Like, you've scammed people enough to support yourself. But then she's going to say, like, she doesn't have any money. That's why I don't even believe that she's really making that, perhaps. But anyways, let's see.
You feel good in life and all that stuff?
I do. I've had a lot of shifts in the last few years that really changed my life and made going for this my dream and my passion. And so, yeah, it's a continual journey. And of course, there's ups.
And I got this information from the other video, but she said in 2020, she was a full-blown alcoholic and addict from her own admission. So it's now 2023. So within 3 years, she went from that, and she was already going to Tony Robbins and things before she got herself clean. And then now she's already ready to teach other people how to live an amazing life. It just seems to me like a very fast track. And especially for her to make this much money, allegedly, seems like shocking to me, but okay.
Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. I'm curious about a down right now. Talking about passions, do you have a passion for credit card debt?
This is kind of crazy. I don't think I got my first credit card until like 2 years ago.
This was all within the last 2 years? This
Yes.
wasn't even built up. Go on.
Yeah, so I hadn't had the experience with credit cards at all. Mm-hmm. And because of the nature of my work, I didn't understand there was like different seasons of the work, and there were times of making more and then making less. So it became this.
You didn't do like market research into this industry before you decided this is what we're doing full time?
Not in the sense of like, I just saw coaches who were just constantly making, $40K months and
$40,000 a month. That'd be nice.
I know, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's like every coach I follow on Instagram basically claims to have 6-figure months, $10,000 a month in revenue at the minimum. Do I believe all of them? No, I don't. Do I believe some of them? Maybe, but I also think that they're scamming people and they're actually not providing any value whatsoever. And so people are just getting scammed and getting embarrassed and just like leaving. That's the story I hear a lot, is like, I spent $3,000, I spent $7,000, and I was so embarrassed that the course was like, baby stuff, that I just, cut my losses, and now I'm on the snark side of things. But yeah, I think, again, she's almost delusional in the opposite sense, that all these coaches make $40,000 a month, that my, $6,000 a month life coaching business is a failure. It's like, what are you talking about? That's, again, super successful.
Yeah. So that was like, that's where the head was at. My head was at.
And how much you bring in a month?
It varies.
Average. Give me an average. Let's work with an average here. Break it down between the low months, high months. What's the average across? Just a brief pause to ask you to please consider subscribing. Look how close.
There you go. Subscribe, everybody. I know some people, I see the comments are like, he's a little rough. Yeah, this is his style. So this is how he is with everybody, by the way.
Over the
not just her.
Median household income in Austin.
Wait,
and well above. How long have you been doing this full time?
I mean, in the last few years.
Okay, so a couple of years bringing personal business to pretty much $80,000 a year. People would love that. I mean, you're $5,000.
Then go back. He's talking about I skipped over this.
Everyone who has subscribed so far, and back to the video.
I would say a low month could be anywhere from $2,000-$3,000.
Okay.
To
high to me.
An average is, I would say, $6,500.
Okay, that's not bad at all.
$6,500. Yeah.
That's your average. That's not your high. That's your average.
That's an average.
Okay.
I'm confused. Also, who is she? What's her name? Does she have a website? Can you send me the information? Please, please, please. I'm invested in this. I'm telling you, I looked for an hour today and I could not find her. So please put in the chat what her info is, if you don't mind. Yeah. Okay. So on a low, now I just recently took a job, by the way. So I'm working full time. So I have health insurance. And my successful month, when I was proud of myself doing well, was like $3,000 a month, towards the middle of my business running it full time. So the fact that she's and I have like gear and equipment and a marketing plan and clients, and I work and edit and write and shoot and all of that. So I'm, in my mind, providing value more than just like, you can do it, girl. You got it. Spiritual is talking to you, whatever. I think I don't know if she's either lying, like I said, or she's delusional that how successful she is not typical.
Okay, $6,500. Fantastic. What's the complaint about that?
I agree.
For how long have you been doing this full time?
I mean, in the last few years.
Okay, so a couple of years bringing personal business to pretty much $80,000 a year. People would love that. I mean, you're $5,000 over the median household income in Austin, and well above the median in the United States. And it's just you.
Yeah.
Why are we in this debt in the first place? We haven't even talked about it. We'll go into it, but why? $80,000 a year.
Why?
Well, yeah, why are you in this debt? Why'd you get into it? Why are you not out of it? What is happening?
That's a question. I mean, it's on my vision board to have all my debts be cleared. So.
Okay.
Red flag number 1. Who cares that you have it on your vision board to get rid of your debt? It doesn't work like that. Despite what all these fake gurus, and I say fake guru, I don't even like the term fake guru because it insinuates that there is a real guru. I don't think gurus exist. I think if someone has expertise that makes them a professional person, I think the word guru is something that we should eliminate, at least in the westernized way that we use it to, like, a fashion guru, a computer science guru. Like, okay, enough. We've saturated the word. It's meaningless now.
I think that's where, I didn't really understand the nature of having like a credit card. So I started making more money than I ever had in the last 2 years from this.
This when? When did that start? Making more money than
I ever have made? It started like 2020, like
Okay.
spring 2020. Yeah. And
credit card debt started 19, 18, 2020.
Same. Yeah. Like I didn't get my credit card until after I started making this. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How much is in your checking account right now? I cannot see that on here. What's in your checking account?
Over 4,000.
4,000. Okay, I am happy with that. That's awesome. $4,000.
To me, that's a lot also.
Everything in here is just mostly paying off, well, not paying off cards, but paying towards cards. And you do it in a very interesting way. We have like a mobile payment here of $60 and a Spotify subscription, then a mobile payment of $60. And then we're Venmoing out $2,100. What the heck is that? What are we doing?
That's my rent.
Your portion?
Yes. I live alone.
Oh, so that's your landlord? You
Yeah.
pay your landlord via, okay.
Yeah.
Because that $6,500 is pre-tax, which we'll talk about that in a second.
Okay, so for those people asking about the checking account stuff, this whole concept, his whole channel is doing these financial audits. So she signed up for this to get a financial audit by this guy who does this on his channel. So she's aware that he's going to ask these types of questions. She printed out all of her financials for him to look at. So it's something that she's wanting, just FYI. This guy's not just like, hey, come on my show and talk about your life. And then he's asking her for her checking information.
And then corporate filings, LLC. I think I understand that now with the business and stuff. So, okay. And then we're spending money at Starbucks and we're Venmoing out $1. And then again, here come the mobile payments again. We have $100. We have $60. We have $60. We have $50. We have check card ARC My Chart $100. Okay. I don't like that $100 went to something that you can't think of, but okay, we'll continue with a mobile payment of $50, mobile payment of $50, and GoDaddy payment is a website that's starting to make more sense, and same with the Squarespace thing. And then we have mobile payment $120. Again, we're just getting all this in a ClassPass for $69. ClassPass?
Yeah, that's a workout class.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And there's just Squarespace and the Capital One mobile payment of $165 and mobile payment of $100.
I wish, and they don't really go into it, but I wish like some of those 120, 160, 100, whatever, they don't go over it. A lot of it ends up being like food at this one place called Mother something. Motherfucker. I'm just kidding. Sorry. Something like it's like a health food store. And she basically is like, well, I choose to be healthy and being healthy is expensive and I have to eat at this store. He's like, why don't you cook at home? She's like, no, I'm not going to cook at home. He's like, well, she's like, I want to work on my business and cook less. He's like, how many hours a day do you work on your business? And she's like, I'll tell you what she said. I won't ruin it for you. Okay, let's skip ahead to minute 17. Yeah, here we go. So it says, it's called Terrible with Her Money.
Used to making that much money. And so I went from before, like always, just barely getting by. And then when I had money start coming in and on top of that, when I got my first credit card, it was like, oh, now I have this money and now I don't even need to spend this money. I can spend this credit card money. And then it was like, it just felt really good. And so it was, and then wanting to live in a mindset of abundance. So it's like, I want to buy.
Why? Why live in a mindset of abundance?
Because it feels good.
Oh, because it feels good. I'm glad we're doing things that feel good instead of just smart. Okay. That makes sense. So as a spiritual coach,
I gotta say, I agree with him 100%. It's like when people say that, like live in a spirit of abundance, it's like that is such a privileged mindset to be in that only if you cannot relate to the average struggle of everyone trying to just survive, could you even say that with a straight face? Live in a state of abundance, or again, delusional or lying. Those are like the three options. So he's gonna sort of push back on that, which I love.
And like helping people through things.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that mindset is complete bull and has put you in a bad position? The mindset that you just explained, not your whole spiritual thing, but the mindset of abundance, and it feels good to spend money. Bull. It's hurting you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you agree?
Well, I I think now, like in retrospect,
the thing is with a lot of these spiritual coaches, it does focus on money so heavily in all of their marketing and all of their conversations. That's what brings people in, is the promise that if you just believe enough, you'll make money for yourself and to support your family, which is obviously a lie and a scam. But for him to say like, well, your whole spiritual thing's fine, but your money mindset is wrong. No, that's the same thing. I don't think he understands the business and how all these grifts work. That's why I think she's pushing back and by saying like, well, I can't not believe that because then my whole premise is broken.
I can see where there were things, now after being in this more financial tight spot, which I haven't experienced in the last 2.5 years, because of the increasing debt and because of having a slowdown month, whereas usually I had more money because I was paying less on my credit cards. I had more money, and then I, was running out, and then I started to, I went through everything, and I actually canceled so much stuff, like subscriptions. And I was just realizing, I didn't think I could do that. I thought after it was like ego deflating to be like, I guess I don't need to go to see the most expensive hairstylist, or I don't need to go get a blowout, or, all these things that felt.
Again, that mindset, if you really think about the larger picture, if you zoom out from your own life for just half a second, you would think that, okay, so if I believe that people who don't get a blowout and expensive hair care, those people don't care about themselves. So everyone trying to live within their means and work at jobs that aren't online biz coaches, they all hate themselves. You have to believe that to be able to believe this genuinely. But I don't think that the people take that minute to go, okay, does this match the world at large? They keep you focused on yourself, and you create your universe and you create your reality. So you don't think about anyone else or how this flawed mindset may not apply to your neighbor or to everyone else in the world. And that's how they keep you stuck into the tunnel vision.
Felt really good.
Your lifestyle just inflated with that money, but it overinflated. And now you're in a position where you're financially to be very clear, but we're going to hopefully find ways out of it. But the taxes, that's all we've talked about so far. And we haven't even gotten into the credit card debt. We haven't even gotten into the car debt. We haven't even gotten into you not having an emergency fund, being able to survive. So far, not so good. Credit card debt.
Okay, so, thank you, Rachel Diamond. Thank you. The part that I skipped over, that she has not paid her credit, or she hasn't paid her taxes yet. She has no money in other than the $4,000, but she claims she made $80,000 last year. And, legally she has to say that she made that money. And now you probably are going to pay, it's like 30% or less, depending on her expenses, her actual work expenses. But, she could pay 5 figures of taxes for that, potentially, and she has no savings to pay, or she hasn't kept a hold of that money. So he was talking about the taxes and how she's going to have to owe the government money before she even has anything left for herself. Thank you, Rachel Diamond. Again, thank you. Says she's what Rachel would be without Dave's money. Yeah. I agree. She needs to find a Disney executive stat. She needs to go hang out of Elon Musk's house in Austin and see who he's dating these days, because
your girl is a bougie bitch.
She's at Erewhon every day. I'm just kidding. I don't think she's there. But at the end of this, basically, he gives all of his guests a plan, what I think you should do for the next year, 2 years to get out of the situation, or to improve your situation, or to, invest in profit or whatever. And basically he's like, this is what you should do. And she's like, yeah. And he's not happy with her. So we're going to jump around, but we'll get to that part before we leave. Here's one for you, Rachel. Let's see.
Shout out to Helen.
Also via Rachel, and also shout out to...
There's Colleen.
Thank you, Rachel. Okay, so let's skip ahead, because now they're going to talk about credit card debt. She's in a lot of credit card debt. That's kind of obvious. Okay, let's go to 27.
Well, I think maybe not financial, but
Life advice. You're not taking control of your life. This is going to be offensive.
He's going to get a little, here, I'll play this part. He's going to get a little bit judgy, but I sort of tend to like it.
I have to be offensive. The spiritual advice and all that stuff on the other side, I don't understand exactly what you're saying. We can talk about that, but I don't know what's said in there. Are you in a place where you should be giving that kind of advice to people if you can't even stop yourself from something as basic as spending?
well, I don't give people financial advice.
I know, not financial advice, but life advice. If you can't even take control of your own misbehavior, should you be giving advice to other people?
Well, I think maybe not financial, but
life advice. You're not taking control of your life. And finances, whether we like it or not, is a huge part of our life. But this is a part of your life. And you cannot control your spending. You just admitted so. So should you, in fact, be giving advice to other people if you cannot control an aspect of your life that is clearly wrong?
I kind of agree 100%. If you want to teach someone a yoga class, of course. If you want to teach someone how to meditate, no problem. If you're going to tell someone how to show up in the world, as they say, look at me using the wordage with the verbiage, and interact economically and like have an abundant mindset. Yeah, that is, kind of bad advice, especially when she's probably using her own testimony of making money and supporting herself as the reason why you should trust her with the coaching. So I have to, I know it's mean too. I agree with him. It's a little offensive, but someone's got to say it, She showed up for the show. It's her fault for going.
I'm definitely willing to shift it.
You're spending? Good. Why haven't you though?
Well, I have, in the sense, the last month in December, I had to cut back on things.
You didn't cut back on anything. We just went through all this. It's like 50 Honest Marys. What are you cutting back? There's
Honest
no
Marys.
back.
Honest Marys. That was the restaurant that she went to like 100 times.
I cut back on things that you're not seeing now.
Oh, dude, no. This has to stop, and that's why these are all maxed out. This Capital One, what did we do here? Some mastermind.com for $47, and Hive Labs, dolls kill, dolls kill, and Honest Marys, Michael Stores, and Trader Joe's is fine, but
Trader Joe's is fine.
Honest Marys, well, it's not fine this on a credit card because you're spending money on a card that's pretty much maxed out. That makes no sense. You should be doing it in your checking account. But either way, at least it was a grocery store and not Honest Marys for the 53rd time. So, what does real cutting back look like? No Honest Marys. You know you can't afford to go out, right? You know you can't afford to buy any designer clothes. You know you cannot afford to go to anything but great clubs. You know you cannot afford to go out to eat at all, right? To be very clear, not a single time.
I'm speechless.
Do you know you cannot?
I just think she regrets doing this interview, which I guess I would regret it too. But I'm sure you signed the form. Like, I will not walk out in a panic in the middle of this if he tells me, because he's not, like I said, his other ones are just as harsh, if not harsher, on the channel that I've watched before. So
Not afford that though.
I get I feel like it saves me so much time though, so I can work on my business.
Work on your How many hours a day are you working?
It depends. And now I'm doing more things now.
Any average?
An average?
How many days or hours a day are you working?
5.
Then you don't have time. That's stupid. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm sorry, I'm digging into you, but that's dumb. That's dumb, and you need to know that's dumb. That's why I'm being rough. 5 hours a day? Oh, poor me. I'm working 5 hours a day and I can't cook. What do you mean it saves you time? Are you taking out from Honest Marys every day? Or do you go and eat there?
I take it out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, at least that's a thing. But 5 hours a day working, you can, congratulations, cook. You can. There are 19 more hours.
the part that makes me laugh is because If manifestation worked, she's living it. She's doing the masterminds. She did the Tony Robbins UPW from her own, account. She is living in abundance. She has a $2,100 a month apartment. She is driving a nice car. She's meditating daily. She's doing yoga. She's doing ClassPass. She's taking care of herself. She's got clients. She's making money. Okay, so she should be totally having those $40,000 months like they claim, because her alignment is top tier, and her credit card statements should be irrelevant at this point in her mind, because they seem to be, because she's not saying like, oh, I really did F up. She's like, no, this is all great. I just need to make more money, as she goes on and on. But yeah, it's interesting that was his take.
Oh, no, there's 18 more hours. Take away 8
and she's sorry. That's what I meant to say. She's only working 5 hours a day, so she is prioritizing her self-care. I'm imagining she's prioritizing her health and her wellness. So she should be rewarded by the universe. And yet here we are. She's in major credit card debt. And it's honestly because she's looking at people who have support from their spouse that they're not talking about, or support from their parents, or a trust fund from somewhere, or a settlement from an accident they had 10 years ago. I don't know, but they have money from somewhere, and people who say that they don't are lying. Or they're like the 0.1% where it worked for some reason, but it's not the norm.
For them to sleep 10 more hours.
Mm-hmm.
We can't make a bowl of mac and cheese in 10 hours? Put chicken in the oven in 10 hours? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Are you understanding this? Or are you going to try to justify it? You got to give me something here. I'm just talking to a wall.
Well, because I like to eat that's part of my spiritual life, is eating, very healthy and
then
organic.
Buy some romaine fucking lettuce from H-E-B. I don't care. Sorry, continue. I interrupted.
It costs more to eat healthy.
Yes.
Even if at like the grocery store, like
but
it
not
really
as
does.
much as you are spending. You don't have to get the top of the line organic crap to be healthy. Just don't eat Panda Express.
She's like, have you ever heard of a chemtrail? You're so wrong.
Every day like I do.
I think it would take just some open-mindedness, or seeing what else is possible for shopping. How to save and shop.
Do we need to go on a shopping trip? We might need to go on a shopping trip.
Oh my god.
Let me know if you guys need a bonus episode of us going on a shopping trip. Guess what?
I watch.
On that last one, that Capital One card, $1,136 of interest. That is money you lost this last year. Last year, over $1,000 gone from your life. 1.5% of your income gone, because you're just carrying an almost maxed out balance on there. You have $14,457 of basically maxed out credit cards.
And it doesn't make sense, because they're looking at the last 2 years. She said she started in 2020. On average, she makes $80,000 a year. Okay, so they add up all her expenses, her astronomical rent, her high car payment, all of that. She still has like $3,500 a month left over, according to her own calculations. So it's like, and she didn't save anything for taxes. I don't know where the mess up is, but I don't think she's bringing in as much as she says.
Yeah. I didn't know that about the interest, like over a year.
Then I am very glad you're here today, so you at least know that. Hopefully that is a wake-up call.
Yeah.
And once the interest rates start on those other things, dude, you're just digging yourself into it.
Okay, so let's skip ahead to her cryptocurrency conversation. Okay, so this is like him giving her like the real deal, what she should do to fix her situation.
And then you get to live a fantastic life, a control, and then that'll help. But fortunately, it's not over. But you probably have to go crazy for another 4 months out of this whole situation to give yourself any kind of starter emergency fund. In that case, you have at least $10,000. So, but that's at the end of either situation that you choose. What do you think?
Another 4 months on the end of either of those to give me an emergency fund?
Yeah, because not having an emergency fund is an emergency, so you need to go crazy to get it. What you could do this during this entire time, just ramp up your business or work side hustles. You work 5 hours a day. Come on, give me a break. Figure something out that brings in more money. You have a car, drive some Uber Eats. I don't give a crap. Bring in more money, and this cuts this down.
Yeah.
But I am for real. You have to actually commit to it of not going out to eat. We are not going to festivals or vacations or crap. We're not getting clothes. You have to go hard. If you just half-ass this thing, you're going to stretch it out to decades. And this is going to hold you back, and you'll never be in a place of financial success. Because guess what? We haven't even talked about the world of investing yet, and you're not even allowed to think about that until you're out of these terrible debts. Your thoughts?
So no investing.
I know.
Pay down the debt first.
The interest rates far outweigh the potential returns you can get in your investments.
Selling my car, that seems crazy.
You could work like crazy for a year and a half.
For another, yeah.
This just comes down to basic math. It's as simple as that. I'm not putting your emotions into this because at this point it doesn't matter. Math wins.
Yeah.
She's not convinced.
I mean, the goal, I think, is increasing the income.
That'll help. But you can't have fun either. Okay. Increasing income just to have more fun. No, that doesn't work. You want to cut down the time you're not having fun by increasing the income.
Cut down all fun.
Yeah. It's a temporary sacrifice. You'll be 28 when you can get back to all that stuff, or 29, depending what path you go down. And then you get to live a fantastic life, a controlled life this time, where you're not going into credit card debt and spending all your money every time you get a cent and touching your savings. But that's, again, we're far off from that. One thing that's critical in this, you need to get a budgeting app of any kind, or keep a spreadsheet, or use cash in envelopes, and we can talk about that afterwards if you have questions on that. But you need to, these items that we talked about in your budget need to be strict. You do not spend a single cent over what we talked about, so that you're actually able to put the money necessary towards the debts we talked about. It's not fun. It's not fun, but it's the consequences of the actions that you have done. And it is the dark tunnel before the incredible rest of the decades of your life, where you get a nice, new paid-for car at some point. You get to live in a nice apartment or house because you don't have to worry about all these minimum payments that are just eating you up. You get to invest a good proportion of your income, and congratulations, at some point you get to actually retire and not have to worry about freaking working. But this path right now, that's never even a possibility in the future if you continue down this path and don't address the root cause now. Root cause, your spending's bull. And you clearly don't understand the debt and credit cards, and hopefully
Okay, so now she's going to talk about what she's actually going to do.
No, I'm actually going to work to increase my income outside of my the business that I'm already running. I can definitely do that. I have time to do that. I also have like a willingness to do that, to increase the income. And I feel like I'm willing to limit my eating out.
Why? If you know how bad this is, why not actually do what's necessary?
I feel like if I'm in a pinch, and I need, like, if I'm working more and I fill my schedule.
Your pinch. Meal prep. Meal prep, and there'll never be a pinch. Continue. Well, you talked about raising your income.
Yes.
Bad news. That is not the issue here. You have a fantastic income, $80,000 a year. Great. You're spending. You're not willing to cut back is the problem. You're addressing the wrong issue. You're not getting to the core cause of this problem. Well, I'll tell you. Well, actually, before that, tell me about your investments. Where do you have in what? How much?
I have investments in Robinhood.
How much?
Right now, over $2,500.
Can I see it? What?
Oh, now it's down. 1,900.
Well, yeah, the markets are down. 1,900. Okay.
Poor girl.
Where are we in?
I like his assertiveness, where he's like, "What?" Like, I want to be more like that with people when they say something, like, and you can tell that they're uncomfortable with it, instead of moving on. Like I'll just move on to the next thing because I'm trying to not have them be uncomfortable. Just say, what? Assertively. I think that's a great quality that I need to work on.
I want to see your position specifically. Fun fact, congratulations. Sell all of this right now. Pay off that top credit card. Yes, it doesn't matter. The returns you're going to get on that's not even close to the 1,000,000,000% interest rate you have on this credit card. The math doesn't work. Sell, pay. Sell, pay. You yourself in the past. Take accountability. Pay it off.
Really?
Yep. Yes.
That makes me like nervous because I mean, it's down. Should I wait? I'm like thinking, you know,
It doesn't matter at this point. That's not that much money. This is not going to make or break your retirement. If it was something massive, we'd think about it. But that can pay off a card today and get this snowball rolling and get rid of these minimum monthly payments quicker. This cuts your monthly thing by 1.
Right.
Just by doing that. Do it.
What about the taxes that come out of it?
You're down. You'll be able to tax loss harvest. You'll be able to claim some of the losses.
I didn't know that. So that is a great tip that I learned through watching this video, is that if you lose money, you could potentially actually get a little bit back from your loss. You could, I don't know how, I'd have to watch something on how to do that, but I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. But I think, here's my 2 cents on this issue. He's not understanding because he's not a spiritual guru, like, you know, person who watches this crap all the time, I'm assuming. I think why she's so hesitant to get rid of her investments, even though financially it does not make any sense, is because of the mindset. She's growing, she's increasing her wealth by having an investment account versus paying off her debt is dealing with the negativity that exists in her life, which is this stress. And it's reality, you know, for her situation. If she was, someone said there was like reminds her of Paris Hilton. If she was Paris Hilton, yeah, none of these problems would exist. But because she was born into the life that she is, I'm assuming she doesn't have like, you know, a huge sum of money somewhere hiding. Maybe she does, and I don't know. But it seems like she's on her own, which a lot of people are. It's like, because you're in that situation, yes, you do have to deal with it. Is it fair? Absolutely not. But as I've come to learn through life, life is not fair whatsoever. So, you know, I think she just wants to have the mindset of, well, I'm growing my investments. And it's like all about the abundance. If she's paying off debts, that's just not an abundant, that's a scarcity mindset, I think was what she thinks. And if she starts to address it, then she's actually going to be forced to be more scarce.
That you've had on that.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, let's see. You open this? I'm assuming, knowing the market over the past year and a half, I'm just assuming it's been down for a while. On the gains you've gained overall within the last, you've gained $90. You'll pay like 15% on $90. The taxes should not be a part of this conversation.
No.
Yeah, you'll pay it, but that's not a make or break for this.
It's not to pay the taxes on that.
On $90.
No.
You're going to pay like $12 in taxes.
To pay down a credit card, which I'll save the
lot
interest
of money
on.
Yeah, this one you're losing $41.99 in interest on a monthly basis. It's not even comparable. What other investments do you have?
Bitcoin.
How much?
Well, I invested over 3,000, but right now it's down
to we've recently had a bounce.
Yeah, it started to go up, which is good.
Yeah, what's it at?
1,888.
Cool. Sell it.
What?
Put it towards the next car. Yep.
This could go up.
It could.
It's over 3,000 I invested.
It could. I'll tell you what, 100% will happen no matter what. These credit cards will keep killing you. Doesn't matter. Get back into that bullshit if you want to in the future. Right now, you are taking care of your past sins. You f***ed up. Take care of it. Be an adult.
Because I also have another account on here, $440.
Yep. Okay. Take it out. Take out all this money unless it's in like a Roth IRA or tax advantage deferred account. This makes no sense right now. You don't need this. Dude, I am so about investing, you have no idea. But the interest rate on these credit cards do not mathematically justify being.
This is how people, like I said, who have no idea about spiritual life coaches and the mindset of abundance feel. And when you're in it, you're like, no, you just don't get it. Like, the universe listens to my thoughts. And people are like, what the are you talking about? I used to, like, when I was all into this, people that like worked in finance, got like master's degrees in finance, I would tell them, no, I am going to invest in myself. That's what Tony Robbins said in a interview one time. So I actually am the creator of my own universe. Like, how embarrassing. I can't even face these people anymore that I used to like talk to about my financial situation, which has improved greatly since then. But back then I was like in credit card debt as well. And it's like, you are so brainwashed. And I shouldn't say you. I always do that when I'm talking about myself. I was so brainwashed by this whole industry, by all these people who are lying through their teeth at you about how successful they are. And it's funny to hear someone's perspective dealing with the issue without even knowing what they're actually interacting with. It's interesting.
In that, especially in a risky asset, the way your account was balanced into Bitcoin, you're like 50-50. It makes no sense. Sell it out all into this. And you're almost halfway done. You're almost halfway done with your credit cards at that point.
But don't expect her to agree. Thank you, Olivia. You're helping me pay off more credit card debt. Wow, thank you, Olivia. Olivia F says, the make me want to bop her over the head. Let's ask Dave Ramsey. Actually, he's definitely wanting to talk about this conversation. What do you think, Dave?
This is just stupid.
Okay. What have you learned so far, Dave, about this situation?
Nothing.
Okay. What do you think this life coach is doing all day?
You have to think instead of sitting around eating Skittles and watching Oprah reruns.
How much do you think is in that account for the Bitcoin, Dave? Olivia wants to know.
That's suspiciously like $500.
Thank you, Dave. And just tell us a random thing.
Their building's bigger than yours, and their furniture's nicer than yours.
Okay, Dave. Thank you. And thank you to Olivia. Okay, we're almost done with this one. I'll move on.
Well, you're almost 2 cards done, but the other cards are just higher balances. Okay? Will you do that? Will you be an adult? Will you act like you're 27 years old and not 13?
I'm willing to sell Robinhood.
What the?
And I'm willing to sell the 440.
Why not Bitcoin?
Because it's going to go back up.
No, you don't know that.
I do.
You do not know that. Nobody knows that.
That's where faith comes in.
Okay, well, you're gambling. Like, I do have money in Bitcoin, and I hope it goes up. I do not know.
Source told me that Bitcoin was going up. They also told me that 6 months ago when I invested, but they meant like in 2 years it's going to go up. So I'm going to hold.
Anything. You do not know anything. One thing I know for a fact, these credit cards are killing you. Okay, so here's what I think is actually going to happen. This is what I think. I'm going to be a little rude for a second, then I'll give you the final word. But this is what I think is actually going to happen. I think you're not going to cut back on food. You might do it for like a week because you have a fire lit under your butt, and then you'll see this video. You're like, okay, cool. So you'll cut back a little, and then you'll just continue going hard. You'll pay off $400 on a credit card, and then you'll spend $450. These will continue to be maxed out. Your car, you're not going to sell it. You're not going to get rid of your crypto and stuff like that. This is continue to build. You're never going to be able to get to a place of wealth within the next 10 years as this goes out. Just for example, one credit card, if you just do the minimum monthly payments, 9 years on the $1,932 balance, with everything you'll pay a total of $4,561, and that's not even if you purchase any more stuff. So I think you're going to continue into a dark hole of not doing this unless you actually take responsibility and do the sacrifices necessarily. Unfortunately, that is where I think we will be, and that makes me incredibly sad. And I hope and pray that I am beyond wrong. You can have the final word.
I have a question.
Her question's sort of boring. She's talking about like other stuff.
This plan that you've laid out. Like I'm going to feel like
if you consolidate, you're going to feel like you've done something. Like, ooh, cool. I've accomplished. Or
thing.
She asks us, Tara, what do you think? She says, she asks if like consolidating her credit into one would help. And he's like, not really. I mean, you can, but I think it would just make you feel like you did something more than actually do what you should do and pay this off. So let's see if she says
first thing. For Rachel, unfortunately, I'm not very optimistic, but I just hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm completely wrong. these really bad credit card debts, a terrible car debt.
So the spiritual coach, who I cannot find her information anywhere. So I don't think she got any new business from this, which she probably would have, honestly. The right audience might see that video and go, I like her attitude. I want to be more like that and hire her. But like I said, I could not find any evidence that it exists. So maybe she's a plant. Maybe it's a bit. I don't think so. I think it's real. But I think she just maybe has her clients or something in person. I don't know. Welcome, Chris. So that was that. So that was Rachel something or other. It was like 2 first names, who's probably going to be in the same situation. Yeah, I wrote it down. Her rent was $2,100. Her car was $500 a month, and her utilities and rental insurance were $200 a month. So those were like her must pays. And the rest was, to pay credit card debt. Rachel Justine. I'll put, after this video is over, I'll put her other video, which is called Paradigm Shifters with Rachel Justine, in the description. So if you want to pursue more of this content, I don't think it's worth watching here, but this is a exclusive as well. I love when there's an exclusive. It's only got 966 views, so under 1,000, and it's from 1 month ago. It says she's a passionate spiritual coach and somatic practitioner. So there you go. Apparently, if you want to do that yourself, you can make 80 grand. Just make sure not to spend it all. All right. Should I start a financial channel? I feel like I could also do that. I will only go over spiritual people, or spiritual and life coaching and abundance coaching and, whatever coaching business you have. And we'll run the numbers, but you have to let me see everything. And we'll prove once and for all to the haters that you truly are a 7-figure earner, and not 7 figures, meaning 0.0 cents. Because that's what I think they're doing. I make 7 figures a year, 7 figures a month. I make $1,000 plus 0 cents. Those are figures. I think that's how they justify it, perhaps. But yeah, I have no financial advice, but I think I could be a financial advice taker. I could ask people for financial advice and then watch my millions grow. Perhaps. Anyways. Okay, let's take a palate cleanser, a short one, and watch the cringiest Facebook video that I've ever seen. And it's short. It's a Facebook ad video. Okay? Whatever. No one cares. It's really short. And this was, again, sent to me. Excuse me, Taro. Let me see this. This was sent to me by Alice. Alice, are you here? Alice has sent this to me, and this was a paid ad, so it was actually targeted to her. So this isn't like organic content. This is something that has been paid for to be in front of our eyes. So I have to watch it via the Meta library for some reason, but we're gonna do it, and we're gonna just look for a second at the business that it is advertising. And if you're here from the MLM content of Boss Lee, you'll also love this. It is advertising another MLM network marketing like guru company. Like, okay, you want to learn how to market Monat? You want to learn how to market Arbonne and recruit people? Here's a way to do it. These are called Beach Boss influencers, not to be confused with Beach Body influencers. This is their ad that started running on January 10th. It says, in 90 days, my team and I recruited 2,000 people, which seems crazy. All without prospecting, bugging friends and family, or posting before and after pictures of our products on social media. And now you're thinking, this is bullshit. There is no way you could recruit 2,000 people without prospecting and not sleeping. Okay, but they figured it out somehow. Okay, Let's see. Well, it wasn't that long ago that I was trying to get anyone who had a pulse and their eyes open to take a look at my products and business. And it was working about as well as trying to collect water with a fishing net. I was failing. It didn't matter that I posted 10 times a day, sending cold, spammy inbox messages, annoying anyone I bumped into on the street, basically bugging anybody and everybody that would listen to me. Okay. Blah, blah, blah. So she's taught over 35,000 network marketers how to recruit faster and rank advance. And you can too, using the social influencer formula. So let's learn about the social influencer formula in the most non-cringy video you'll ever lay eyes on. Okay? Whoops. Hello, we want to see it. Maybe they pulled it. They're like, this ad is not working for us anymore. No, it'll work.
Stop. Hey, if you're a network.
Oh, man. Hopefully this audio doesn't get me demonetized. Okay. It's worth it. Actually, well, okay.
Stop. Hey, if you're a network marketer, stop posting about your products and opportunities all over social media.
We don't even have to hear it. I'll just read it for you. The funny part is them walking. Stop sending spam emails to strangers and stop begging your friends and family to join our team. I get it. You are a network marketer and you want to grow your team and get more customers. You might be doing everything your upline tells you to do, but you're not seeing any growth. Plus, you want to vomit. I don't know if that's what it said. I don't understand the awkward walking in the background. They're presenting this as some sort of team building, but it is giving toddlers and tiaras vibes for adults. And I guess maybe they're at some sort of conference, or maybe this is a bachelorette party from hell. I don't know. But they are selling this. They have a ground floor opportunity that would be so great for you. It's no big deal. They're all wearing the same belt too, or variations of the same belt. I actually might like this better without any audio. It really, shows the background nonsense going on. It's like, hey girls, do you feel lazy being a stay-at-home mom working, to raise your family? Come to this hotel room hallway where we will wear the same outfit and walk together and try to sell other moms on a freedom journey that we are actually not on ourselves. Because why would we fucking be here making this ridiculous video if we were truly financially free? And are they walking or are they not walking? Please vote. Are they just pretending to walk in place, or are they actually walking forward? And also, which one of them came up with this idea? Let me know in the comments below. Okay. She also looks like, I don't want to be here anymore. I didn't sign up for this. You said there was going to be pizza, and now you got me walking in this video. All right, so let's just check out what they're actually advertising for a second. Let's go to their page, the website. And I don't know how they recruited so many people. I don't know what the secret is. I didn't sign up, unfortunately. I didn't sign up for the free course. But they don't have that many YouTube followers, at least. They have, I don't know how they became social media influencers. They have 8,900 followers on Instagram. And their engagement is horrible. This has 4 likes. This has 8 likes, 7 likes, 2, 10, 4, 11. So I guess the secret is probably buying followers so you appear to be successful, I guess. Let's see. 3 steps to the perfect social media profile. Let's see what it is.
To create a social media profile that is going to attract your perfect prospects to you. Number 1, have your profile picture a photo of you, your face. Bright, happy, smiley face. Not your dog, not your cat, not your sister.
Not a random palm tree with a moon behind it. Definitely not. Okay, I can't play the song.
Surround.
Oh.
Results inside your network marketing business are not going to come just because you're motivated. They're going to come because you are disciplined. What are you willing to do?
Because you're willing to walk on a Colombian roadway and sleep in panties overnight on the beach in the cold. That is the difference between losers and winners, as we learned earlier in this episode.
Do when other people are not willing to do it. I can tell you every single 6 and 7 figure earner that I know inside the network marketing industry has sacrificed and has worked their business every single day, even when they didn't feel motivated, even when life happened. They were working their business.
I thought this was an automated system. I'm confused about what this company does. I thought they were going to make it so that I could be a social media influencer and not have to work the business anymore. I'm confused. Marette, I'm sorry that you feel attacked. Why do you feel attacked? Tell me, please. Tara's leaving. She's like, I don't want Marette to feel attacked. Goodbye.
Ooh, shit.
Accurate. Anyways, that's good. Here's the website. Here's the website. That was a Canva document. So if you want to join the team, you can also get a t-shirt, I guess, at some point. And I think, okay, this is just the one thing I wanted to mention. As featured on, I highly fucking doubt it. Not to be mean, but I don't think anyone on these networks cares about a Beach Boss influencer network marketing course. I'm sorry to say. And there's no rules and regulations. I mean, that is technically fraudulent if it's not true to put that on your website, but who the hell's checking? Nobody. So go out and prosper, I guess. So that was a little palate cleanser, like I said.
Whatever.
I love that video. I thought it was insanely weird. So yeah, that was that. Okay. Let's now, so already 2.5 hours in, I'm going to have to come live again this week and talk about the Maddie woman, because we're not going to have enough time to go into everything. I don't think. Will we? What was on here? Let's see. Let me know in the comments. Do you want me to cover Maddie, or should I play Dave Hollis talking about going to church? I'm okay with skipping Davey Hollis, actually, because he's kind of boring in the beginning of the podcast, at least. He talks about his breakup, but I hadn't gotten to that part yet. So what do you think? Do you think we should talk about the cancer faker? Her name is Maddie Russo. Let's see. What do you guys think? Both. Okay. Dave. Oh yeah, Jen Hatmaker. Okay, we'll go to Jen Hatmaker and then I'll see what you say. Both. Dave, everyone Dave. Okay, we can do a separate video for Cancer Girl, fake Cancer Girl, because that could be a whole other video. Okay, let's do Dave and Jen Hatmaker. Thank you for reminding me about Jen Hatmaker. This is a short one as well. Jen Hatmaker. If you haven't watched the stream on Jen Hatmaker, the short synopsis is there is a stream if you want to watch all of the details. And I don't know if you guys know this, I just want to hop on here and tell you guys this really quick thing. If you don't have time to watch the full streams, but you want to just watch the different segments, there's a highlights channel, and I will cut these segments out and put them on there so you can watch it. Usually they're between 10 minutes and an hour, depending on which type of segment it is, if it's a review or just something I'm talking about. And the link is in the description below. It's the highlights channel. So you can either watch those highlights there from Jen Hatmaker, or there's a full stream on this channel. But basically, she was really good friends with Rachel Hollis and Dave Hollis. She's still friends with Dave, doesn't seem to be friends with Rachel anymore. And she's sort of known as like a liberal Christian mommy blogger. And she was on HGTV with her ex-husband now. renovating like a house in Texas, and she started a church with her husband, now ex-husband, and her daughter came out as gay, and that was a big deal because she was, you know, involved in the Christian church, even though she was on the liberal side, but that pushed her over the edge even to be more liberal and away from the Christian teachings. And her book got pulled at one point from Christian publishing, so she's been sort of in controversy in that world. And that's something that I don't really, as a person who's on the more liberal side of social issues and things, like, I think, you know, I'm not like, wow, what a sellout at all. My critique of her was that she has she was like, sort of like, oh, my family, she shares a lot of her kids. She adopted these 2 kids from Ethiopia, and, you know, I guess exploit would be sort of a strong word, but that is one word for it. Exploit her kids online and put them on social media and such. But since she has divorced her husband, he has admitted that he cheated on her and he was unfaithful. He's already remarried to someone else, and she is now dating another sort of influencer. And she's like, she'll get on her Facebook and talk about, and she's also an MLM. She's a Color Pop, I think, sales rep. But she'll get on and talk about her dates, and she'll, you know, like just overshare, and she's trying to be relatable, and she sells these courses about being, you know, learning, I don't know, me courses. And she was the biggest like scandal that she's had as of late is, she was talking about flying on an airplane, and she's like, I love sitting next to really beefy people because they're my human seatbelt and they keep me cozy and warm. And yes, I tuck into their fat sides, essentially, is what she was saying. So it was very bizarre and caught people off guard. And it turns out she had posted something similar to that like 2 years ago as well. Anyways, that's the big recap. But now she's got a cruise that you yourself can go on right now, and she's going to do a Zoom about the cruise, and I don't understand why this exists. But first, Alice in Wonderland 66, thank you very much. Alice in Wonderland says, thanks so much, fantastic. Oh, well, you're welcome. I don't know what specifically you're saying that for, but I appreciate it nonetheless. And for that I say,
I don't shave my chochi.
I don't shave my chochi, especially when I'm on a cruise with Jen Hatmaker. But just in case, remember,
you have a wig in your panties.
It's always there. Pop it on your head if you want to mix it up. I don't know. Thank you, Alice in Wonderland 66. I appreciate it. Okay, so apparently cruising with celebrities or cruising for different events is sort of common. And I say common, meaning like it has existed in the past. But like, she's not a celebrity. She's sort of like a, you know, one of those people you have a pseudo relationship, parasocial relationship with because she's telling you about her kids and her dates and stuff. But are you sure, Jen, that you want to take people on a cruise for 4 days? It's either that she's like not, I don't know. It's either that she's thinking like, well, these people are all going to be normal and all are going to just be cool and not over the line of odd or weird, and this parasocial relationship is just going to work out for the best. I mean, she's obviously making money from this. She's not just trying to like befriend strangers, I'm sure. But the second part of this is like, I don't know what the second part of this is. It's just like, what is going on in the world in which this is something that we're thinking is even not remotely insanity to me. Okay, this is what she says. Jen Hatmaker and friends are setting sail, and or the second part is that she's actually you're never gonna see her. Like, it's her cruise, she's gonna be there, and you might see her like on the poop deck, and you go, hey girl, I love your book, I love your podcast, hey, and she's gonna be like, hey, and have a security guard that's gonna like take her, you know, to the private area of the cruise. And in reality, you're going to be, you know, like, oh, I got to hang out with my friend by seeing her one time on the cruise ship. That's my other theory on this, is like, maybe she's like hyping it up like, it's going to be great, I'm going to be there the whole time. And she's like stays on her balcony the whole time. Anyways, it says Jen Hatmaker and friends are setting sail in the sunny Caribbean and want you, who could be a stalker or murderer, to come on board. If you're a stalker or a murderer and have probably a couple grand. We want you to come on board, of course. Be stuck out at sea with us. There's no better way to be at sea than with this crew. It's the ultimate #squad goals. No. People, these are not your friends. These are people making money off of you on the internet. Let's keep this in mind. This is what I need to do with people like the financial guy giving audits. I need to do reality checks for people who are like buying these things. Like, no, you need to give this idea up. These are not your friends. Okay, you can expect all the hilarious shenanigans along with heartfelt moments and super intentional times of connection during special programming with Jen and her special guests. And it's only available to our cruisers. Whether you bring a pal or family member or come solo, we can even set you up with a roomie. You'll find incredible new friendships and form precious memories. Ready? Time to get set for so much fun in the sun. We cannot promise, and I say we, as someone who will never have a cruise for anybody to join me on, sorry. You cannot promise memorable moments and heartfelt friendships. You cannot control that. You're going to force it on people? Like, I understand, like, you can network with people. You can meet new people, sure. But promising, what did she say? Precious memories and incredible new friendships? I don't know how you can promise that as a cruise offerer. I don't know. People have gone so overboard. Get it? Okay. Our very own cruise within a cruise. Okay, so there's going to be other people there other than just Jen Hatmaker's friends, I guess. The Jen Hatmaker and Friends cruise is an exclusive cruise within a cruise. So it's not exclusive. Okay. We will all set sail together on the Royal Caribbean Harmony of the Seas ship by registering with our exclusive travel partner. You get access to Jen Hatmaker and Friends exclusive experiences. We will be planning super fun and meaningful experiences that we'll get to have just with us, and you still get to explore all of the incredible activities on board the Harmony of the Seas. Okay, so you have to leave from Galveston, and then you go, all right, let me just read it. You explore the luxurious ship you'll call home for the next few days and enjoy your first of many exquisite diners. You will be a diner at the dinner. While meeting the other travelers on your cruise, together we'll kick off our cruise with a jam-packed night with Jen Hatmaker and Friends. Okay. Then you're stuck at sea for an entire day. So you better like each other. You better be developing these friendships quickly. After a morning reflection from the balcony, treat yourself in the ship's spa. Is that included in this price or not? During today's lunch, sit with someone new. Conversations with friends will become a highlight of your cruise, or they won't, because not every conversation I've ever had in my life has been an amazing conversation, but okay. Enjoy an incredible event with Jen and Friends while having the time of your life. I would love, this is giving me Heidi Powell, change you, become you, be you for $3,000 vibes. Like, I'm not, what is it going to be? Snorkeling? Is it going to be sitting in a conference room in the storage area? Like, what is going on this cruise? I would need details. Okay, then you go to Cozumel, which was popularized by Jacques Cousteau in the mid-20th century. Cozumel has welcomed scores of scuba enthusiasts and sunseekers, complete with a dense interior jungle and Mayan ruins. Share the journey with friends you have made on your cruise as you discover more of this incredible world. Okay, so you're on your own in Mexico is what I'm hearing here. Do whatever you want. We're not gonna be with you guys. Got it. Okay, then you're back at sea, going back to Texas, and you're going to bask in the joys of a Caribbean cruise aboard this magnificent vessel as you bond, because we're going to force you somehow, with fellow travelers. During breaks from the exclusive program that's been designed for you, take to the ship's deck for some cool ocean breeze. Snap some keepsake photos as you create unforgettable memories. Okay, again, not sure what this actually entails or includes whatsoever. Okay, so you can book now. Let's see how much. I'm just going to go alone because I cannot let anyone know that I'm going to be here. Okay, so you can do the grand suite is $35.96, so $3,600 for that. I mean, that's the biggest room. You have a total space of 476 square feet, including the balcony. Wow, that is a steal. And if you want to be a cheapo, deepo, internal stateroom loser, okay, if you want to have a scarcity mindset, you can spend $1,596. So $1,600 for a good choice for those wanting an inside cabin. These charming staterooms feature 2 lower beds that convert to a royal king bed, approximately 140. Oh, they're tricky. This one is actually cheaper. The 4V is actually cheaper than the 3V. You'd think that, okay, if you scroll down to the bottom of the barrel where I belong, then you would get the cheapest price. But no, you have to be careful with these people. The 4V interior stateroom is actually the cheapest at $1396. So I guess, is that cheap for a cruise? I don't know. I don't go on many. I've gone on one cruise. It was Carnival Cruise and it was in college. So it was cheap. And it was right after the cruise when that one was stuck at, the Carnival one was stuck out at sea and everyone was like, all the poop was coming out of the toilets. We had booked it right after that. So it was cheap. It was like $300 for 4 days. And it was amazing. It was amazing for the time. I would never repeat that trip again. And thank you to Allison Wonderland 66 again. No. Okay. Sorry. It popped up again. Just kidding. Thanks. I take the thanks back. I'm joking.
My mouth is so bored.
Awkward. Okay, there you go. No, that's high for a cruise. Okay. Dang. Yeah. So that's that. And it's only you go on the 1st and then you leave the 5th. And basically the 1st and the last day are nothing. You just maybe the nighttime on the 1st, but when you're back, you get back in the morning usually. And that's it. So it's sort of 3 days, 4 days. And she's going to have a Zoom call to answer all the burning questions about this event. So if you're interested, you can go to her Instagram and I guess, whatever. What's included in this is cabin cost, based on double occupancy. Okay. I don't know what that means, but okay. Access to exclusive Jen Hatmaker and Friends experiences on board, meals on board. Okay. With the exception of optional specialty restaurants requiring an additional charge, complimentary shipboard activities and amenities. Okay. Frequently asked questions. Oh, I'm getting a Google Doc. Oh no. Anything else that's interesting? Oh, you have to put a deposit in by July 3rd for $350 per person. What's not included is costs for travel, documentation, travel to and from the port city, meals at specialty, whatever. Okay. Trip cancellation, cruise taxes and fees of $205 per passenger. Conference registration fee of $198 per passenger. Conference registration fees of $200 per person. In addition to the $1,300 to $3,500 I have to pay for the room, plus taxes. Okay, this is adding up. This is adding up very, very quickly. I am a book club member, but my cabin mate is not. Can my cabin mate join the Jen Hatmaker book club exclusive experiences on board? Unfortunately, no. Are you serious? You can't just let that slide one time for $4,000? Come on. Be reasonable, Jen. Be reasonable. Ay. Anyways, so you can watch Grease. I mean, that's worth it. That's worth $5,000 right there. The performance of Grease on the Royal Caribbean cruise. And that's Jen Hatmaker, the Jen Hatmaker's cruise. Now, during my cruise research, I found that there are medium cruises. Now, not medium large and small, but psychic medium cruises. I cannot imagine a worse experience to go through. So I will be booking soon. I'll let you know how it goes. That would be a fun video to make. I spent 3 days, 72 hours on a mediums only cruise. We solved all mysteries. There are no mysteries left to be solved. Okay. So that was that. That's weird, right? I don't know who their audience is, who's going to this, but I'm sure at least 5 poor souls will be there probably. And I'm sure I'll cover it again once it's passed. And we can snark on it then. Okay, so now we're going to round out the night with our friend, our bestie, David Hollis. And this is called You Are Worthy of Unconditional Love. Now, if you remember correctly, if you've been following the lore of Dave Hollis and his life and his love life, right? Oh, wait. I have 2 new Dave Hollis exclusive sound bites. Are you ready? Here's my new favorite one.
I mean, I fucking cried.
He said the F word. But he also then changed a second later.
I freaking cried.
He effing cried and he freaking cried. Dave and Heidi Powell, his longtime girlfriend of 2 years, after many years of marriage to Rachel Hollis, they have broken up. Heidi and Dave Hollis have broken up, and he's spoken about it briefly on his Instagram stories, but I was promised that in this podcast he addresses it, which makes sense because it is titled You Are Worthy of Unconditional Love. I don't know if the insinuation is that Heidi did not unconditionally love him, but we'll find out as we go. So he is going to talk about church, something that he actually, ironically, Jen Hatmaker's church, or she doesn't go there anymore, I guess, but the church that she started, I believe, is the church that he is attending these days. And I hadn't heard about church in a couple of years, and now that him and Heidi are on the fritz, are splits. I guess they're no longer in the fritz. They are completely split up. He is back in church. He's back in the pews, people. So here we go. I'm excited to hear all the deets.
Delivery. Subject to availability. Additional terms.
And I'm skipping over the ads.
Why?
Officially 1 hour until your favorite show, but a new season.
Dave here.
So we're a minute in after the ads. Great podcast planning. There you go.
I thought I'd throw a Tuesday episode up. I'm sitting, looking out over the back patio. It's the calm before the storm. Kids coming back tomorrow. But I had...
He's the captain. And I see, yes, and I did address it last time. Dave apparently does have a Hinge profile, and the update since the last time I talked about his Hinge profile is that it has been verified. So, I mean, allegedly. I don't know. I've never seen it with my 2 eyes. I've only seen screenshots. So, of course, those could be doctored. But according to Reddit, Dave has a verified Hinge account now. So it appears that it is truly, they truly have it all. It is truly his Hinge account.
They truly have it all.
So it looks like him and Heidi are broken up, and he is back on the dating scene, and can't wait to see what that produces. Okay, just so you know.
A really interesting breakthrough on the way home from church, and I thought I would share a little of how me crying through a sermon is reminding me of what parts of me are still being healed. I mean, I fucking cried. Now, as a little disclaimer coming in, I do reference going to church. I do talk about some things that happened inside of this sermon, but this episode is as much for someone who believes like I do as it is for someone who doesn't. I'm not going to try and decipher biblical texts or even convince you to try to come to church. So if you're up for a little bit of a look into my mind and the way that...
I think he does have a future potentially in a church setting. He would fit in so great at like a, new wave Hillsong. Well, maybe not Hillsong. Maybe like a Hillsong wannabe church where you just talk about your life experiences and how they relate to the biblical text. Because that's what he basically does. That's what Rachel basically does too. Just now without the Christian only element, because I think they wanted to diversify their, customer base. But now that he's sort of failed at that, he can just, niche down again.
Is happening, and the way that sometimes hearing a certain message allows you access to the parts of you that you need to still work on, then this episode's for you. Welcome to Rise Together. My name's Dave Hollis. I'm the host of this show where we're going to hopefully have you feeling a little more normal in the human experience. Maybe see yourself even.
Can you imagine being a mediocre man and thinking that your ramblings and blabblings about your life is helping people deal with the human experience? Can you imagine just the audacity that requires?
Some of the stories that are told or have your appreciation of what it means to be human expanded by someone who's come on as a guest who's had a different life experience. In all of it,
You mean
we are
everyone
trying
other than you?
our best in community to learn from each other, to grow, and maybe even have a little bit more compassion for what it's like to walk in each other's shoes.
Okay.
When we do, we all rise together.
Yeah, yeah. Oh,
Just got
yeah.
out of a church service, and I'm feeling all the feels. This kind of feels in the same way that you're probably not meant to go grocery shopping when you're hungry. I'm not sure that you're meant to podcast when you are feeling super emotional. So this could end up being garbage. May not even air, but I was just driving home. I can't stop thinking about the experience of this service. So I thought I'd come on and record a little bonus episode, giving you a little bit of my thoughts on feeling all the feels. We were in service today. I have been going to this church for, 5 years now, called Austin New Church. And I haven't been in the building as often as I have been attending online since the pandemic.
Sure.
But I have
That's
made
what I say too.
As a list of things that, hey, I want to try and have happen in my life in 2023. And I keep coming back. Man, I've talked about it like a broken record, but like building real community in Austin is one of those things that like I just want to do and I need to do so badly. And I am hoping that showing up in person and connecting with people in a building is going to be something of a conduit to the creation of some real.
I think that's a good idea. Honestly, for him, just, following his story, I think that is much more a healthy route than flying to Arizona every 3 days and bringing your kids along for the ride. So, in the relation to what he's been doing since the divorce, I think this is a much more healthy approach. So love him or hate him, we got to give him credit when it's due. So good job, Dave, for the growth here.
So I've been going to church in person again for a while, and I'm feeling good about it. But I also have this very interesting thing that has happened now a couple of different times in a row where something will come up in the service and it will create a reaction of tears. And I can't, I've been, journaling about this and thinking about it both on the drives there and back and whatever else. I can't, I haven't been able to totally put my finger on it. And then as I was coming home from church today, I felt like I had something of a breakthrough. So in the beginning of the service, in a way that I don't think I've ever seen done in church, our pastor, my buddy, Jason Morris, such a good friend, that guy who at the beginning of divorce sent me that same text every single day for 8-9 weeks in a row. What small piece of sadness can I hold for you today? Such a good man. He, after some of the worship was done and after there were some announcements made, he opened up an open mic to allow people in the congregation to talk about a topic that he placed up for discussion. And the conversation was anger or frustration or processing the hard feelings that are associated with what.
The only church I've ever gone to is a Catholic church, and the idea of having an open mic at a Catholic church service, at least in my own experience, unbelievable. It's so interesting how many different types of Christians there are. And it sounds like the ones that are, into the life coaching and are able to have new age beliefs, they seem to be just free for all. Just, you want to have a social media account where you're, selling products and talking about God? Yeah, we have that here. Oh, you want to join a quilting club? We got it here. It's so different from what I grew up thinking church was like. It's interesting.
Kind of feels like at times to walk into this space, especially if you've had a circumstance that was not ideal earlier in your faith walk, because of some of the maybe programmatic or dogmatic ways that a certain congregation told you as a woman that you had a place or didn't have a place, or as a person in the LGBTQ community that you had or didn't have a place, or whatever it might be. And the message the week prior was about how historically women hadn't been afforded as much a space to speak or presence in the church, and like, let's unpack the feelings around that and what it might mean in a world today that is hopefully affording more space and more, hands up for women standing on stages and living fully into who they are. And so we'd opened up this open mic for people to talk about how
I zone out when he talks. I'm sorry.
That they've experienced in the church creates interesting feelings today as they sit in it. And there was something about hearing the stories of these, normal people who had a life where someone, something, some structure, some pressure, some current in society telling them a certain way that they had to be, and how it warped a little bit of how they felt that they had access to God, or they had access to being all of who they knew they were put on this planet to be.
Okay, whatever, Dave. Hold on. We got an emergency. You thought the hat from Rachel, the life coach, spiritual coach that was in debt was bad? Wait till you see Jason, the pastor he's talking about. He's like, hey guys, it's headshot day. Okay, just, we want to show that this church is warm and inviting. So, okay, Trey's like, all right, you got it. I'm going to smile. Stephanie's like, you got it. I'm going to look off camera just a little bit, but I have a warmness. Jason's like, who? Jesus who? I'm busy. So this is his buddy, Jason, his best friend. He was raised in a missionary family in central Mexico in the 80s and 90s. After high school and a short degree in practical theology, Allison and I married and returned to continue the work I'd been involved in for years. Music and youth ministry were my first love, but nowhere near as compelling to me as preaching and pastoring. So we came back to the States to finish university and pursue a master's of divinity from Northern Theological Seminary near Chicago. After graduating, I joined the staff of a mega church in Houston. I think it's Joel Osteen's, probably. But that was just a stop along the way until I found my dream church, ANC, not to be confused with AMC movie theaters. That is a non-religious theater. I'm just kidding. That's not what it says. I am progressive by nature and Wesleyan by choice. Endlessly inquisitive and curious. I love to run. Guess he's not too tall. Read and ride motorcycles to recenter and rest. Oh my gosh. He loves to run, read, and ride motorcycles to recenter and rest. Roar, 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 roar. I'm grateful that ANC allows me to give myself entirely to the art and craft of preaching and teaching. But he cannot be bothered with looking into the camera for the picture. Okay, just so we all know who Jason is. Good idea, JB. Thank you. Okay, back to it, baby.
Because of some of what was sold to them or told to them. And it was super emotional. I started crying maybe 12 minutes into this hour and 15-minute service. I did not stop until I got into my car.
Sorry.
And I ended up posting a little bit about it, in part because of the significance of the message that was delivered after this open mic opportunity. I had plenty of people saying, oh, that's the Holy Spirit. That's like what happens when you are having something worked out.
Officially 1 hour until your favorite show.
And an ad with no warning.
But a new
worked out in me.
World is your cart. Visit instacart.com or download the app and get free delivery on your first order. Offer valid for a limited time. Minimum order $10. Additional terms apply.
And now I've been sitting with, well, what was being worked out in me that this thing, I think there's some natural empathy for hearing someone else's story and wishing that, man, it hadn't had to have been that way. But I knew there was something else that was happening.
I knew it wasn't that I had empathy for someone else. It was because I needed to work something out in myself and then tell you about it and make money from it. That's the real reason I was feeling empathy.
I happen to be an empath myself.
Okay.
And I was like, what is being worked out? What's the Holy Spirit? What's God working out in me? The message itself was about the Beatitudes. Blessed are the, right? All of the message that exists there at the beginning of the, I want to say it's the Sermon on the Mount that Jesus ultimately delivers. The crux of the conversation was this idea where he's trying to lay out the Beatitudes and make sure that you're not mistaking them as prerequisites of how you have to be to attain access to God's love.
Huh?
Now, by the way, if you're listening to this and you're not a religious person or you're not into church or you're not even into God, just stick with me for a sec, because this is not going to be me trying to unpack a biblical text. This is not going to even be me trying to preach or convert you into showing up at my church on Sunday. The conversation, though, about like the prerequisites of what you have to do to be quote unquote good enough for God's love is a ridiculous idea in and of itself, because there are none. You are, like I am, worthy of the receipt of God's love right now before you do a single thing.
I feel misled. This is him preaching 100% to me about going to church. Like, you can't change my mind about it. Like, he sent like 25 caveats. They have all proven to be not true so far. I feel very influenced right now.
The reality in my own journey and what I now can see, having thought about it and done a little journaling about it after I got home, the reason why I cried for 58 minutes of an hour, 15-minute service is that the idea that I am good and worthy before I do anything comes back to and is connected to a core wound of mine that has not yet fully healed. Dave. And if you are someone who feels like your goodness...
If you've listened to the amount of Dave Hollis content that I've listened to, which if you watch this channel, we've listened to the same, essentially. He has talked about this 77,000 times. How is this a new revelation at this point? He's told this story. Rachel's told this exact story. I thought I was only going to get love if I scored a score in the soccer game, if I scored a goal in the soccer game, if I, memorized the Bible. We've heard this exact thing 75 times. I don't know how, he's run out of content, that's obvious, but why present it as a new idea every single time, like a revelation? Unless he's just totally in denial, like, we understand you need to not seek validation from strangers as you have a podcast about needing validation.
Worthiness or you're deserving of love is a thing that comes with a contingency that you check certain boxes or do certain things or be a certain way. As far as God's concerned, first and foremost, his love comes without any conditions needing to be satisfied. And thank goodness for that. Gosh.
Thank God for that.
Me, I've talked about it a few times on the show. God, I can feel like the emotion in my voice is making it tremble. I got to just take a breath. The way I was brought up.
God, Dave.
All right. I have two extraordinary parents. They are salt of the earth. They raised me in a really great home that was, very religious, had a lot of rules. But I also happened to, in birth order, be the oldest of 4 kids, where those 4 kids were born in like 6.5 years, like right on top of each other. So there were just a lot of kids in the house as I was growing up.
Was there 1,000 kids?
It's okay to cry.
And in some ways, because of the way that our very strict religious household was organized, there was a super clear line of this is good and this is bad. This is right, this is wrong. Here's how you go to heaven, here's how you go to hell. And it was pretty binary. And your hope, the hope, I shouldn't say your hope, but the hope of the house was be good, be right, go to heaven. And so in the combo platter of that as a kind of fixture of our home, and the way that birth order for me had me attempting to show that I was good when there was a lot of chaos running around, the thing that I turned to as an access point for love was achievement. I will go and get good grades and score the most goals and memorize the most Bible verses and all the things.
I swear I did not listen to this part already of this podcast. That is his example every single time. I know that by memory now what his examples are for love. That's how much this story has been told.
So that you will see me, and that in seeing me do good, you will acknowledge me with the love I crave from you. And
isn't this, I mean, I could be speaking because I have the same issue, but I feel like this is every child's experience. Like, you just want your parents to be proud of you at all times. So that's why you do things in life to make them proud. And whether they reciprocate that or not depends on if you have good parents or not. I don't know, but he seems to think this is a unique to him thing. Thank you, Rebecca Romana. I don't think it's come through yet. Now it has. Listening to this as I make bread at Olive Garden. Really? You're at Olive Garden? I thought I had an Olive Garden soundbite, but I don't think I do. Well, this is going to be yours, as it is forever. This is Rebecca Romana's special soundbite. Here you go.
You are going to marry Dave Hollis.
Just jump on that Hinge account and get to work. Swipe, swipe, swipe.
No.
Download Hinge first.
There's a first for everything.
True. And also,
we're best friends.
We're best friends. We're back to being best friends again with Heidi and Dave. Thank you, Rebecca Romana. I hope you enjoy Olive Garden.
God, there were so many good things that came out of that programming when it came to it creating a drive in me and an ambition in me. And certainly I built a nice career and helped build some nice things inside of companies. But that double-edged sword of if I perform, if I achieve, then I will get love, has a super dark side that in the last year and a half, 2 years, I've been having to do so much work to try and unlearn that I have to do anything in order to be worthy of receiving love in the first place. And guess what? Like, it's not just about achievement for me. There are things that ultimately then tip into some of what has been unhealthy relationship patterns for me that look more like codependence than they look like showing up, that look like there's more a kind of transactional nature to the receipt of love than there is love just being shared back and forth without thinking about receipts, as it were. I know when I was working at Disney, there were plenty of times where I had access to a handful of things. They were so cool, right? Like going to a movie premiere or getting passes into Disneyland or whatever. And there was some part of this maladaptive thinking that I picked up as a child that had me trying to put my finger on the scale of my own friendships that, hey, be friends with me. Not necessarily because I, in and of myself, am worthy of and am a good friend, but if you're friends with me, you also can get a free pass into Disneyland, or I might be able to bring you to a movie premiere. Like, I was trying to kind of tip the scales because of some insecurity or because of...
Again, doesn't everyone sort of deal with this? Like, what do you offer your fellow man? Like, the kid who's got the trampoline growing up is probably going to be more popular than the kid that, doesn't have new clothes. Like, that's just life's not fair type of scenario that you have to work through in some way. I don't know. I think he really thinks that this is a Dave Hollis problem, that he's explaining it some, very unique and helpful way. It's like, this is sort of everyone's experience. And maybe again, I suffer with this and deal with it. So I'm just thinking my experience is also common. But I feel like I've talked to people and it's like, what do you have to offer in a romantic relationship? What do you have to offer in a friendship? That's always sort of like part of the game. Yeah, it sucks, but that's what we're all sort of trying to weigh all the time.
Some part of how I learned how to be loved, that if I could offer this gift with purchase, then I reduce the chances of being rejected, or I reduce the chances of not being loved back. And there were plenty of things that existed in my marriage that were byproducts of that. I jumped so quickly into relationship with Heidi, a thing that I freaking love. I'm so grateful for, every single thing that came in that relationship.
So much so that we broke up.
As much as I've looked for the book that says, after a 16-year marriage, you should run immediately into a new relationship, it doesn't exist. And don't worry, I'm not going to write it. But
okay, sir, you already wrote that book. It's called Built Through Courage, and it literally has Heidi in a picture in one of the chapters. So you already wrote that book where the advice was, yeah, go for this. Nothing wrong, nothing bad about what I'm doing currently here. I've actually solved all my problems, and I can change your life too by you reading this book. That was Built Through Courage's entire premise, just FYI.
What happens when you move quickly from one relationship to the next is that you don't get to do the investigative reporting on what of the things that you've done that aren't ideal in connection or in codependence, and you just bring those same patterns into the next relationship. And so I find myself now, trying to spend a little bit more time. Dave, spend some time.
Dave.
Doing the investigative work to understand what
Talking
these
about
patterns
peace?
are or what this thinking is and deconstruct it so that I can heal some of that core wound.
Okay, the kids are already asking what's for dinner. Dairy and gluten-free ability. Additional terms apply.
So I've said the word core wound a couple of times. As much as Heidi and I aren't dating anymore, we're still working together in a variety of capacities. Among them is this really cool mastermind that we have inside of the fitness community we run.
Inside of.
And this last week, she was teaching on this idea of core wounds. I'm going to bring it back to my church.
Heidi, if you're watching, we all want you to get better. As much as we're snarking on you and we've criticized you in the past, we want you, and I'm speaking for all of us in this community that's here. We don't wish ill on any of these people. I'm going to speak for all of us as people. Now, your content can be cringe. I don't think Dave, Rachel, or Heidi should be charging money to give advice because I don't think that they have any sort of special advice over anyone else in this world, at least what they've chosen to speak about and teach on. But I feel badly for what Heidi's going through right now, just based on her Instagram, based on some of the ways she's been posting, and I hate to say this because I know it's judgmental and it's none of my business, but based on the way she looks right now, it looks to me as an outsider, someone who's been on her account a lot in the last couple of years, like she's lost a lot of weight, and I know she's been open about her struggles with eating disorder. I worry for her health right now. The fact that she's teaching people on the internet for money about core wounds and how to deal with that is ridiculous to me. And the fact that he's promoting it as if this is like a totally normal, great thing that should be happening just shows that he's not quite on the reality train that I would prefer him to be on personally. Now, that's the last thing I'll say about it for now, but I don't know. This is all unhealthy to me.
Epiphany at the end of this, but we were talking about core wounds, and we were introducing this idea because if you can understand what it is that you have as a core wound, you understand why you do almost everything you do, period. I mean, it sometimes informs the good things you do, but it also sometimes informs the bad things you do. And so the questions that we were asking this group are the questions that I've been asking myself in the aftermath of this church service today, but also in the last year's worth of time. And it's the question I'd ask you today as well, which is, do you have a sense of, do you have a handle at all on what your core wound is? Now, for a lot of us, a core wound is something that happens when we're young, right? So I can go back, and for me, it's like a 7-year-old version of me who is trying so badly to be seen in a house with now 3 small kids by doing everything he can to be the best, the perfect, the shiniest object of them all, because I am desperate to be seen and be loved. And the times when I didn't have access to the love that I craved, because, I'm sure there were other things that were happening, like feeding and taking care of.
Thank you, Mai. You caught me in the perfect time, in the middle of a drift out, losing consciousness in Dave's word salad of his life. Mai says, first of all, thank you, Mai. Mai says, your hair looks nice, Kia. Oh, thank you. Which mega church is behind you? It looks like a giant arc. Okay, first thing I'll comment on my hair. I need to get it done again because I'm getting white hairs, but I've been pulling them out. So thank you for saying it looks nice. That makes me feel like I have a couple more weeks left that I can get away with this. And I've been washing it more. For a while, I was not washing it because I was told that the oils in your hair will, be better over time if you don't wash your hair. That is bullshit in my life. If I don't wash my hair every other day, it looks like a greasy mess and I don't know how to stop it. And don't tell me dry shampoo because I've tried that and it doesn't work for me. I swear to God. I swear to God. I pray every night for good, dry, non-greasy hair. And this church is Joel Osteen's church in Houston, where I believe our pastor friend Jason used to work, potentially, perhaps. So this, I believe, is in Houston, I think. Thank you, Mai, as always. Okay, back to Dave.
3 other small babies in the house. It triggered something of a wound that said, you just got to work harder. You just got to work harder. You got to push more. You got to achieve something greater. You have to become.
Oh. I'm so sorry. I'm like listening to it myself. Oopsies. Okay, sorry everybody. I gotta go back. My bad. I'm like listening to it on my own. Okay, sorry.
Now, for a lot of us, like a core wound is something that happens when we're young, right? So like I can go back.
Sorry,
and
everybody.
For me, it's like a 7-year-old version of me who is trying so badly to be seen in a house with now 3 small kids by doing everything he can to be the best, the perfect, the shiniest object of them all, because I am desperate to be seen and be loved. And the times when I didn't have access to the love that I craved, because I'm sure there were other things that were happening, like feeding and taking care of 3 other small babies in the house, it triggered something of a wound that said, you just got to work harder. You just got to work harder. You got to push more. You got to achieve something greater. You have to become something bigger because you're not big enough right now. And in the absence of being big, this smallness is why you're not getting love. So like my core wound goes back to this, like this thing that existed inside of this pretty discrete window of my life, but then has these like rippling echoes of I'm not worthy or I'm not enough as I am on my own, or I'm not lovable if I don't sweeten the pot with some kind of gift with purchase. Like those things are all this byproduct of that wound that existed then. And so the work that I have, and I think the work that anybody ends up having, is to go back and understand what the heck that wound actually is, why that wound actually existed, and then find some ways to deconstruct it or make some of the lies that come in it completely unbelievable because of some of the truths that you now know about yourself, about your world, about your God, whatever it might end up being.
Okay, we get it, Dave. You're a Christian. My God. I mean, I guess, but I think also sometimes people think the critical wound that you have is one thing, and in reality it's another thing because you're just unable to look at it yourself in that way, critically and without bias. And I would say, I hope he says here, and the best way to do this is through therapy. That is a way that you can, work with a professional on these major issues, because doing it alone sucks, and having a community is wonderful, and having someone with a degree that can help you in a way, and hopefully you can afford it, which is the biggest hurdle I know for mental health care. But if you can do it that way, and you're not alone, and there are ways to figure this stuff out. But we'll see what he says.
And so if you have a core wound of that you're not worthy, like the work that you end up having is to find those examples of your worthiness that are present all around you every day.
Yeah, okay. I obviously feel that way all the time, that I'm not worthy. And I know that my wound comes from like my parents and all that, like feeling like I need to perform and whatever. I feel very similar in a lot of ways to them, but from a low income perspective, probably similar more to Rachel in her upbringing. But I've been in therapy for almost coming up on 3 years now, and I'm still working on these issues. It takes a lot. It's not just, I know intellectually that I'm okay and all these things are fine. It's much, for me at least, deeper than that. And it takes so much. I mean, he's obviously not over his wounds. He's going to say, I figured it out by identifying it. If identifying the problem was the problem, every abusive situation, every, horrible marriage would be immediately divorced and moved on from and escaped out of and all that. It's so much deeper than that. And it just shows that you're someone who's not there yet to think that this is how it works.
All day. And
exactly.
It's not a thing, by the way, that like, I'll identify it on a Thursday afternoon, and by Saturday morning, that wound will be healed. No.
Okay, good.
Like, you're going to go on a healing journey that's potentially going to take time. But when you're able to start that journey, then you actually give yourself this glimmer of hope, this possibility that the way that you've always almost automatically, like reflexively responded to things is something that you can interrupt, because you now have some new information and a different way of thinking about who you are and why you do what you do that'll have you making a different kind of choice. I've been having this conversation in therapy for about 2 years now. I've been really doing a ton of work on this idea of core wound for at least 6 months.
Okay,
and I
good.
still catch myself almost every day doing something that I'm like, holy goodness, Dave, quit feeding into that insecure thing that existed inside of you when you were 7. You are
holy goodness. I got to soundbite that too.
7 any longer. At the same time, what I've had to also really do, and I would encourage anyone who does any exploration around core wounds to also do, I have had to develop a massive amount of compassion for the 7-year-old needs that still exist inside of my body. Because that little boy who was desperate to be loved is still there, hands open, asking to have some of his experience honored. And so I tended to be a pretty tough judge of myself, and tough judgment is the last thing that the 7-year-old version of me who's still hurting needs. He just wants to be seen. He wants to have those feelings honored and acknowledged, and he wants to be made to feel safe. And so that, it takes some self-awareness, but also just a massive, massive amount of compassion. So the 3 things that I would suggest that, anyone try to do if you want to do some work on your core wound, this is what's been helpful for me. The first thing that you have to do is name it, right? Like, just take some time to actually acknowledge, this is my core wound. This is why it exists. This is what it feels like. These are the patterns that it's created. Here are some of the choices that I've made because of the way that this wound is still present and not fully healed. But you name it. The second thing is that you really take notice of how it controls you to this point. You spend time actually seeing how it's been present in your current day life. Right? How does the fact that you haven't fully addressed or haven't fully acknowledged or haven't fully honored that this wound exists, how does it happen to show up in your life with your decisions? How does it make your body feel? If, like a lot of times,
aroused.
When I am feeling anxious, it's because I'm wildly out of alignment with something that my core wound is begging me to pay attention to. And so the more that you can be aware of, okay, how does it present in my body? Does it raise my blood pressure? Does it make me sweat? Does it make me get a stomach butterfly? Does it, like, whatever it ends up being, the more that you can really take notice to how it controls you, the more that you're going to be able to take the third step, which is how you address it when that voice starts to speak. So the third thing you need to do, make a plan to address your inner wounded voice, right? Knowing that you've got the issue or knowing that you're working through the healing, like, that's the first thing. There's power in just the knowledge of that. But it also requires that you're going to be kind of tactical about how you want to try and actually attend to the wound. Now, for me, sometimes my tactical attending is having a conversation.
Is it attend? I mean, I'm just curious. I'm not trying to make fun of him for this, but like, is it? I thought it was tending, not attending the wound. Anyone have insights?
With my therapist. Sometimes it's journaling. Sometimes it's praying. Today, it was spending time in church because there was a healing salve that was delivered in the midst of a sermon about the prerequisites of me being lovable, as in there are none. That was the thing that my 7-year-old needed to hear more than anything. But whatever it is, you just got to make a plan. And slowly but surely, you'll get to chip away at this thing and start to feel better. The work is not easy. I will tell you this, I want to be like very clear that my core wound, like the story of like me desiring to be loved by a great mom and dad who happen to have kids back to back, may seem like the highest class problems to have a wound that I am recovering from relative to what you've been through. And I don't want to diminish any of what you've been through. I want to honor it for sure. But also in saying that, some of the wounds that might exist, especially if you grew up in a physically or emotionally abusive household, if you're coming out of anything that has like deep trauma or massive amounts of grief, there's going to be extra excavating. It's going to take.
This is giving me the vibes of, I read an article about trauma and let me tell you how to fix your deep wounds of your life. I'm going to hack. I have a hack for you. Trauma hack. Just name it and deal with it. Trauma is in a mindset. I'm struggling. I don't care what he's saying. This is, again, just like repeated information delivered. Like, it's like secondhand advice given from someone who has not done the healing work yet to actually address the issues that they're struggling with. Given that this is in a podcast, it's like as if he has an addiction to podcasting. He's telling you he's got an addiction to podcasting, and let me explain how I'm, fixing that by podcasting it to you. It makes no sense. Exactly what he's saying is what he's doing right now. So how can I trust his, expertise, which is none?
Tenderness, and it's going to take time, and it's going to take compassion, but as you're able to chip away at it, it's going to produce healing. You're going to become more whole. And I am on this journey of wholeness. Like, I'm closer to whole than I've ever been, and there's still.
The fuck does that mean? Journey to wholeness? I'm closer to wholeness than I've ever been. What does that mean? That is a meaningless phrase, and I feel like that is him searching for perfection. Now he's changed perfect into whole, and you're still after the same thing. Dave, this to me is reading that you have the same issue, you're changing up the vocab. It's the same problem. It's like how people get in relationships. They think, oh, it was my ex-husband and I, he was the problem. And then you get into a relationship with a very similar guy the next time. And it's like, why do I keep having this same problem? It's like, because it's you. You haven't dealt with you yet. And it's like, he's doing the same thing. Like, I used to think I had to be perfect. Now I have to be whole. Is that not obvious? Listen to this back critically, please, for all of our sakes, and don't publish it again.
Where I break into tears and wish that it wasn't so hard to have to confront all of the feelings all of the time. And yet, here we are. So when I bring it back to the church service and what the heck was actually happening while I'm crying uncontrollably in the back of a church with a man who was a new attendee who I was happy to meet, who also was wearing a cowboy hat the entire time. There's no shade being thrown here, just an admirer of both his hat and the fact that he was here for the first time. I just want to also, sidebar, not related, apologize to everyone I've ever sat in front of at any public gathering ever as a 6'4" man. I just got a dose of my own medicine, and I had never experienced it before. But back to church. Why was I crying in the back of this church?
He's too tall to attend church. He's too tall to church. He's too tall to pray in a group setting.
I was crying tears of healing.
Oh.
I was crying tears of hearing a thing
Come on,
that
Dave.
my 7-year-old wound, my 7-year-old version of me, that
This is whoever forced this upon us, and by us I mean collectively me and you watching. This is a rough listen. This is bad.
wants to be loved so badly he thinks he has to hustle to be lovable. It was a remedy.
You know what I think? And maybe he's addressing this on his own. He doesn't want to publicly say it. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. What I think is the most painful thing that he needs to confront is that Rachel most likely used him for his money, his biggest fear that he was only valuable for his income, which turned out to be true, I believe. When Rachel felt financially stable enough to head out on her own, she did. And now he's got to face that, you know, maybe his deepest, darkest fear, which he had told her about and said that he was worried and self-conscious about it, and she reassured him during the marriage while her business was growing. When it push came to shove, she left him. That is hard. That is not something easy to go through. It's not something fun. It sucks, especially when it's publicly. It's embarrassing. It probably produced a lot of shame in him. It just reconfirmed all of his greatest fears. But that's not what he's saying here. He's still avoiding that really gaping hole that he's calling a wound, and he's putting a Band-Aid over it and saying, I'm better, let me help you now. It ain't gonna work long term. This is pointless, but okay, we'll keep going.
It was Robitussin for my heart. And in a world where so many messages
I gotta get that one. Robitussin for my heart.
will tell you the things that reinforce the thing that you were wounded by. Finding something that can be an antithesis of the messaging of the world or the messaging of what it means to be a good woman or a good man, what it means to be a good mom or a good dad, what it means to be good generally, is so influenced by marketing, is so influenced by a whole host of systemic forces that are so much bigger than any single one of us, that getting back to a place where the simplicity of this message of a higher power loving me before I've done a thing made all the rest of that noise quiet, at least for that hour and 15 minutes. That's why I was crying. And I just know, for me, my journey, I got to keep going back to that well, because my ability to feel lovable before I've accomplished anything or done anything is hard when I'm back in my peer group, when I'm in a relationship, when I'm like, there are things that just are triggers when I'm in the world that when I'm in my spiritual practice, they fade away. And so I don't know what it'll be for you, but one, if you need to hear a good word at a church today, I will tell you this: you ain't got to do a stinking thing to be loved by God. He loves you just as you are, just as broken as you are. He loves you like he loves me, and it makes me cry because
Dave,
I need to be loved. I want to be loved before I've had to do one single thing, and I am, and so are you. But two, doing the work of spending some time to understand why you, were you to be sitting inside of a sermon, might find yourself crying without explanation, could come back to your willingness to dig into your core wound. What is the thing that happened when you were young? Who was the person? What is the system? What was the circumstance? What was the traumatic event? Whatever it is that created for you some set of beliefs that, because of their existence, hamstrings you from fully making the empowered decisions that you'd hope to make, the decisions that would have you feeling most aligned and integrated into who you know yourself to be placed on this earth to be. If it's a spiritual practice, fantastic.
He's still repeating stuff from Pancake Gate, which is, who were you when you were placed here by God, from who you're supposed to be, and my purpose. It's just like, first of all, let's just address the elephant in the room of that last comment. That was very uncomfortable to listen to. I'm not against men crying. I'm not against people crying. I just find it wholly uncomfortable, as he said, wholly uncomfortable listening to someone who it's, to them, not obvious that they're struggling, but to probably the general listeners, maybe clear that they're struggling, and just sort of dealing with that reality. It's hard to hear someone in pain when they're so convinced that they're not, or that they're, on the other side of it, when it just is sort of, to me, obvious that it's not. So that was hard to listen to. The second part, it just seems like he's again, right now, it's like he's on the train, like he was on the train of recovery and like rehab, and like that was the thing that fixed him. And now he's on the recovery and the train of church, and church is what's going to heal him and help him. I agree. I saw a comment come through. It was like, the best thing for these people, him specifically, get off of social media. Delete social media. Do not post. Delete your podcast and find a job, or do what you were doing with volunteering. If you don't need to work, freaking don't work. Chill, man. And just go to church, hang out with your kids, volunteer, and leave this behind. This will never end. As someone who makes content online, the search for validation and the search for and the judgment of views and what people say and comments, as much as you can be, see it and go, okay, move forward. It's not easy. It's hard. And it's like, it's never gonna get easier, especially with how, like, he had his peak 2018, 2019. Unless something crazy happens, the festival's over, So you're just going to be pining for that feeling that you had standing in the audience or on the stage of a Rise conference. And can you live with that if that never comes? That's a question he's got to answer, I guess. And all this talking through stuff publicly, it's embarrassing. I hate to say that because it's a mean word, but it is embarrassing. And I think he needs to find in-person friends and family to find support in right now. And I think his life would greatly improve.
If it's therapy, fantastic. If it's a fitness community, fantastic. If it's, whatever it is.
It's not fantastic in a fitness community. Come on.
Because it's not easy work, but it is in real time for me, ending up to be pretty transformational and important work in me getting to be free from the way the wound intercedes in me making decisions that ultimately compromise some of the way that I have access to loving myself. Because when I don't think I'm lovable until I do a certain thing, I don't think I'm lovable as I am, and neither will you. All right, there you go. Thoughts after a church service. I hope that was helpful. I appreciate y'all. And I hope you're having a good Tuesday. We'll see you on Thursday for another episode of The Rise Together.
And maybe he doesn't delete I think he should personally delete his podcast, but maybe you just interview people. That's it. You go, okay, tell me about your business. Oh, wow, very interesting. If he needs the money and he's making money just to produce an episode every so often, run out the clock on that contract and just literally have people talk at you about their coaching programs and how successful they are. Why are we doing this? Like, I need to tell you about my tears that I had yesterday. That's the part that I'm like, this is unnecessary. And this is a bonus episode. Why? The fact that he thinks that was helpful to anybody, and maybe it was to somebody, who knows? I'm not, who can I say that was helpful for no one? But I think it's just more uncomfortable for the majority of people who are going to be listening to that, perhaps. I just feel like as someone who's been obviously a very harsh critic, as I would say about myself, to them and the Hollis brand and Heidi and everything. As much as I'm a harsh critic, I listen to it a lot. I try to digest it a lot, and I try to put it within the context that maybe some of his other followers don't do. And from my perspective, as someone who's been invested in this storyline, yeah, it doesn't sound like he's doing great. That's all I have to say. And I feel like, again, like posting it, trying to get the validation, the downloads, it doesn't seem like that's something that's helping him, because he's been at this for years and has continued to, cry and all of that stuff without like the growth element, I think, that is probably necessary for like real healing, whatever that means to you. Anyways, okay. So that was the Rise Together podcast. I have not been as much as I say I'm like invested in the storyline, I have not been a loyal listener to that podcast in the last little while, as I have not been a loyal listener to the Rachel Hollis podcast. She recently talked about alcohol, which I think is an interesting topic for her. I'm not gonna listen to it now because I'm tired, but I do have interest in it. I will listen to it at some point, and maybe we'll listen to it later this week when I also talk about the cancer teen fraudster on TikTok. We can do a 2-for-1 on that one, so it's interesting for both people interested in both scams and frauds and the Hollis universe. We'll give the people what they want, Anyways, that was like sort of like a downer one. Oh, here's another soundbite. An exclusive Dave soundbite, new one.
This is like a humble brag.
This is like a humble brag.
I freaking cried.
And he freaking cried. Okay, I got my song to sing. I downloaded another song, again, blind. This is a country song, since we're talking about church in Austin, Texas. So we'll do a little country twang song, I guess. I'm hoping. I put country in download, so fingers crossed. And then again, just quick announcements. If you want to watch videos like this, but not as long, there's a highlights channel in the description below, so you can watch these videos in a much shorter format on that channel and also still support me. And if you would like to join the membership, you get access to exclusive custom emotes, and you get access to a exclusive Reddit thread that I will be honest, I have not devoted as much time to since I've started my new job. But a lot of people in the community, I'll use that word, even though I find it to be sometimes misused. The community has been discussing things and posting links, and I usually post all the links for the source files of everything. So if you're interested in like digging deeper into any of these topics, that's a place that you can do that and then discuss it further and suggest topics. There's been a lot of people who've suggested things there to watch and look into, and it's definitely on my list. So another incentive there. And then what else? We'll be back later this week. And fun things coming. I'm putting together a list of edited video ideas. So trying to not pivot away from what I'm doing now, but give myself more options and maybe get back into making a little bit of like stylized content, meaning like putting together thoughts and not only live streaming, if that makes sense. So just doing a little bit like longer, not longer form, because this is like 4 hours. So not long in length, but like longer in depth, thought through videos. So if you have any ideas for that type of thing, let me know. Also, like on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, everybody. And you'll see me at church. I'll be there. No, follow me on Instagram. If you have ideas, that's a great way to send me ideas. And like I said, a lot of the people that sent me stuff came from Instagram and from Reddit. So I'll post on the community post thing when I'm ready to go live. Like I'll give you a fair warning, like, okay, let's do it tomorrow. Not tomorrow. We're not going to do it tomorrow for sure. But maybe Thursday and or Friday. No, either Thursday or Friday, but I will let you know for sure in advance so you can watch. All right, everybody, time to sing the song. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. And I see this coming through right now. We can do a clear, clear, clear.
Clear, clear, clear.
And now we're healed from all of our critical wounds, our core wounds. All right, everybody. And I will be singing right now. Dang, this is so sad. Let me turn it down. Oh my God, I'm gonna start crying now. Rainy Cannon, your name's not Shannon. Maybe it is, but I'll never know. Starry nights in the sky makes me want to cry. You are one cool guy. Nicole Hensley, she is so friendly. You got the biggest smile in the world. And Jerry, you're like a berry in the summertime. Nicole Campbell never does the gamble that you know you cannot win. And Charlotte, she is a pilot of her life, flying through the clouds in the sky. Laura Wallace, she is flawless. I use that every week because it's true. Angela Arnold, what can I say about you that you don't already know deep down? You never frown, just like the perception trainer. She's been strained through her life, but she's back and she's training others. Like Marley Hannon, she's shooting like a cannon in the sky. A consul is someone on the list that always makes me smile. Like Chels Marie too. She's got a boo thing, probably, maybe. Guess we'll never know until we ask. Let us know. Alaska Blue Tundra wants to know as well. It's snowing in Alaska. It's dark there all night and all day. Like Crystal G, we're gonna do a 1, 2, 3 for Crystal G and start this song again. Kimberly Cassé is not very bossy. I've used that one too, but I think it's funny. And it's an easy rhyme for me, and it's also true. Do 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 do. Alice in Wonderland 66. She's got lots of tricks and lots of comments that make sense. And she knew the life coach. Let me know her name so I can look her up and judge her more. Louise V, you really understand me. And you watch the show and it makes me happy. And Joms is there with the best comments in the chat. I always laugh when I look back. Kimberly Harris smiles, it goes for miles. Everyone that sees her, 1,000,000-watt smile. Yes, I rhyme smile with smile, because I already used miles and miles. Kara Soto, you already know though, we're almost at the end of the list, but we're glad to have you here. Just like Tiffany dear, Tiffany Jules, breakfast at Tiffany's. I'm sure you've heard these jokes before. Just like Darby DeFord. Hey, it sort of worked. Darby, oh Darby, like to play with Barbies. Brianna Nicole, she is a old soul. Thanks for being here, Dave Kelly, chomping on the peanut butter and jelly. 'Cause this could be a song in the summertime at the river. Not Jenna Cash. Oh no, it ended so quick. Okay, we're gonna play it, but we're gonna wrap it halfway through. We're at Jenna Cash. Ayy. But then I usually end up singing anyways to the end. About my life and about my strife. It's a good time to get it off my chest. My dad's a performer, that's true. My dad plays good the guitar and likes to sing, that's probably why I pretend that I can do this thing. Not Jenna Cash though, she just loves lashes though. And she's pretty good at it from what I can see. Should I get lashes for me? And finally, El Cholo's kid. You're definitely not mid. That was a word I learned the other day. When talking about a sandwich, one of my friends did say it was mid. And I said, what does that mean? And they said, it's just okay. And I said, okay. Thank you to the Pancake Breakfast Club. If I could meet you all and go into a hot tub, I probably wouldn't, logistically. But the thought of it is nice. Hot tubs are like a bath outside with strangers. If you're at a place where the hot tub is part of the community, that's the word I think that makes the most sense. Community tubs. There's nothing better than a community pool in the summertime when you're 10 years old, and all the kids in the neighborhood would go there and play games. I'm sad that I'll never get to do that again, as a kid myself at least. But that's sort of the game. Let's get deep, that's life. You grow up and it's sort of nice, and it's also sad. But we can get through this, and also we're allowed to be mad and sad. I did it! Tara says goodbye. She wants her dinner now. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Peace out.